Welcome, everybody. My name is Jordan with Silent PH in the middle, and I have a wonderful group of people that are going to test play Kids with Wands with me, which is a Hogwarts hack of Kids on Bikes that I wrote. And Kids on Bikes, I guess I should enunciate. Really excited. So let's start with Elise. Who are you? Where can people find you? And what cool stuff do you do?
So everyone, I'm Elise. You'll see me as D&D Elise on Twitter. I'm also a DM skilled writer, so I help contribute to Uncaged, Anthology, Hollister's Horde, and a bunch of other stuff. I have lots of projects coming up. I'm also launching a stream real quick soon called Red Night In.
Sweet. Sam, who are you? Where can people find you? And what do you do on the internet?
Hey, I am Sam. I go by @samwise_gameg on Twitter and Twitch. I am a disability, chronic illness, and accessibility advocate, and I also play in a handful of various D&D and TTRPG streams. So you can check me out online.
Sweet. And Ben, who are you and where can we find you?
I'm Ben. I'm trying to be a DM skilled writer. Right now, I write listicles, and I have my own site where I write things that I prefer writing to listicles. I'm at JLarogue on Twitter, or Jack LaRogue if you search that. And turns out I follow more of you than I thought.
Sweet. It just happens. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Morgan, right?
Yep.
Okay, Morgan, who are you? Where can we find you? And what's going on with you?
Morgan, I'm at Opossum Hag on Twitter. I'm a writer for the Uncaged Anthology. I'm in a whole bunch of adjacent projects. And sometimes I play D&D on stream, and that's pretty much it, really. I'm not very active.
No, you're very active. That's really cool. And finally, Katie, who are you? What do you do on the internet? And what other fun things are going on in your life?
I'm Katie. I co-host a podcast called WTF Are You Talking About, which you can find on Twitter and Facebook and all that good stuff. Just at WTF Are You Talking About or WTF Pod. I play D&D recreationally. I'm a fairly new player, so I've never DM'd. So you guys talking about all that stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
No, that's fantastic. And have any of you played Kids on Bikes before?
Nope.
No, fantastic. So this is a very simple system, and it is a lot about collaborative storytelling. So in traditional Dungeons and Dragons, the DM kind of describes a bunch of stuff and you guys react to it. But with Kids on Bikes, it's a lot more of what do you want to do? Or I might, as a DM, a game master, I should say, I might say things like, what do you like? Okay, here's a perfect example. Like I'll say, you guys go into a classroom and you open a drawer, and I'll just straight up say, what do you find in that drawer? And it's like, well, what do you mean? What do I find in that drawer? The DM usually tells me what I find in these things. It's like, well, we're going away with that because you guys are dungeon masters as well. You guys are telling the story and doing all this other stuff. So it's very much a collaborative story more than a game that you're trying to win or things like that. Does anybody have any questions about their character sheets that they just don't understand, or something similar to that I can answer before we start?
I hope I didn't forget anything.
Yeah.
And do the classes play like a direct role in our character, or like Charm School or Potions? They play a role.
No, so there are certain, like, if you want to be good at, basically, I wanted to make it so that people could choose what they're good at in school and what they're bad at in school. So in traditional Kids on Bikes, you might be the loner weirdo who's really good at brawn. You're really strong, but you are really bad at social situations. So I kind of wanted a similar, oh, we jumped. I have to oh no, I guess I don't have to fix that because I don't have names for everybody in my overlay, so never mind. But we have, so like, it's kind of like I wanted you to be good at school and I wanted you to be bad at something in school. So that's where that comes from. And I tried to do the stats to align to certain classes that are like school classes. I keep saying classes, but I think of D&D classes, but school classes that are that you'll take at Hogwarts.
Okay, and do we just choose one good, one bad?
Your entire dice that you have you will be a D20 in one of those. So brains, brawn, something like that. You will be a D12 in one of those. So basically all of your dice, you're going to fill out your dice chain. Does that make sense?
I think so.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just trying to figure
We're
out what, like, charm
this is why it's a
school-
play test. It's all fine. So I'm trying to think if I can bring up. Let me see if I can.
classes.
Do we have access to all these spells in that thing that you sent out, or?
Within reason, I think
Oh, yeah,
if you
okay.
can justify it with your character somehow, that's cool. But you're probably not casting the Killing Curse as a 13-year-old person. So I just wanted everybody to have, like, here's an array of spells that you might be familiar with. So let me open up Kids on Bikes.
My wand is ready.
Yes. I felt like such a nerd when I went to Universal Studios, California, and we went to the Harry Potter world. And I was like, I'm going to buy a wand. It's $50, but that's stupid. I'm going to buy a wand. I want a wand. Wait. And then I'd be like, you don't.
You and the hundreds of
Yeah.
other people there buy and wand.
And I'm like,
Oh,
Jordan, you
I
don't
like
need a
that.
wand. You're 30 years old. Like, what is wrong with you? And then by the end of the night, I convinced myself to get a wand. And I was like, not literally, but I was like, kids, get out of the way. I'm like casting spells here. And they're like, well, I'm 8, sir, and I'd like a turn. And I'm like, and I'm 32, and I'd like a turn. So
I've been waiting longer.
Yeah, this is my $50 wall from Universal Studios. It's
Nice.
Sirius Blacks. And I was also like, no children move.
I made this out of a Chinese food chopstick and some hot glue.
That's
Nice. I have one from CVS around here somewhere, but didn't occur to me to grab it.
So for example, and I'll take a screenshot of this and put it in our Discord so you can see Elise. So this is the bully and the stats for the bully. The bully has a D20 in fight, but he has a D4 in charm. So he's really good at fighting. He's like whether with a weapon or his fists, he's just good at that. But he is not good at social situations. And then those are the two extremes, and then he filled out the rest. So he's got a D10 in flight, a D6 in brains, a D12 in brawn, and a D8 in grit. So how do you, like your character that you're creating here, what are they exceptionally good at? And you would put a D20 in that one, and exceptionally bad at, you'd put a D4 in that, and then fill out the rest however you feel your character is. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. Great.
When I saw fight next to flight, it didn't occur to me that you can fly on a broom. I'm just like, you either fight or there's a runaway stat.
No, flight is a runaway stat. It's how quick and nimble you are. But we could also utilize that, like how quick and nimble are you on a broom, you know?
Oh, okay.
Or is it a bludger that is the one that hits you in Quidditch? Yeah. So if a bludger comes at you and hits you, maybe you'll roll grit or brawn to see how well you take that hit. Like, do you stay on your broom as you decide to like take that hit, kind of a thing. So it's very, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling out the crowd because I don't know. I want everybody to have fun and be comfortable. Another thing, and I never expect this to happen in my games, but Kids on Bikes is very much about, for lack of a better word, safety with everybody. So if we're doing a scene and you're just like, ooh, I do not like this. Like, I don't like this scene at all. You can say pause, rewind, or fast forward. And if you say pause, we can stop and be like, oh, I don't like this. And it's like, okay, well then do one of the two things. Are you comfortable with me fast forwarding over this? And we just won't talk about it, but the event still happens. Or do you want to rewind this so that the event never happened? Like, and I never have good examples for this, but when it happens, you'll know when it happens. And it's just like, oh, I'm not comfortable with this at all. Like, kids should not be torturing other kids or something like that. And so we want to say, no, I'm not comfortable with this. Rewind. We rewind and we'll retell the story however we need to tell it. So Kids on Bikes is all about making sure everybody's comfortable, because especially in a more immersive role-playing games rather than D&D, I think people, and they're kids, and that's the other thing, is like, guys are kids, it can be kind of odd. That's character creation, going over my book. World building. So, world building is kind of cool. Well, it's very cool in Kids on Bikes, but it's less cool for kids with wands because we're all going to be at Hogwarts. So our adventure takes place in Hogwarts. And we know our town and we know our family and we know a lot of that other stuff. And we know notable locations within Hogwarts, such as, well, I don't know. What are some notable locations in Hogwarts? The Quidditch field,
The
Forbidden
lake.
Forest.
the Forbidden Forest, the lake, the Whopping Willow. I am not a super Harry Potter aficionado. I've read the books and seen the movies, but that's about it. Hogsmeade.
Yeah.
Yep. So these
That's
are all
us.
locations that you guys can try and visit. So if you're interested in visiting those, and they could even be like the dark arts, the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, the library, the restricted section of the library. Yeah, you guys can go all over things like that. You guys have your characters. You don't necessarily need a trope, but if you have a trope, it helps you play up that character. If you're a bully, kind of a thing like that. You're all 13. You've selected all of that. This makes for really good television when I'm like reading the book, which is why I didn't want to do this live. So I wanted to do this. So let's go around and introduce what characters we're playing. So say your character, what you're best at. So your D20 stat and your D4 stat, your house that you're in. And we'll just go from there and I'll see if I have any other questions. So who wants to start?
I will.
Okay.
I am Imogene Foster. I'm a Hufflepuff. My D20 stat is fight, and my D4 stat is flight.
Okay.
My character is Victoria. She is part of the House of Ravenclaw. She's good at brains and not so good at brawn.
Okay.
My character is Lucian. He's, or I am Slytherin.
Yes.
I'm pretty good at charms and pretty terrible at fighting, so hopefully that doesn't come up too much.
Nice.
I am Euphemia. I am also a Ravenclaw, and I'm pretty good at brains. Not so good at fighting.
My name's Myra. I'm in Hufflepuff. I'm very brawny, but not so good at social stuff. And pardon my terrible accent. I'm going to try to do an Irish accent through this.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Now we're going to do some questions about whether you know each other and how well you guys know each other. So I need to find these questions really quick.
Nobody ever hangs out with Slytherin. They're like a super isolated house.
Hey, I'm a Slytherin. I'm a proud Slytherin, so I think it's awesome.
We have no Gryffindor. I just realized.
Uh-huh.
I identify with Gryffindor. I wanted to play something outside my wheelhouse.
Nice. Okay. So, we have chat. I should pay attention to closing my window really quick. Okay.
I'm already back. You never knew.
It's fantastic. So, let's start with Imogene. Are you comfortable starting, Imogene?
Sure.
Let's I want you to pick another one of the characters. So we have Imogene, Victoria, Lucian. What's your character, Sam?
Euphemia.
Euphemia. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I need to write.
It was the most Harry Potter sounding name I could find.
Yeah. And Moria. So you get to pick one of those characters. Pick one of those characters. That is
I
not
will
you.
pick Moira.
Now, do you know Moira or do you not know Moira?
I do know her. We're both Hufflepuffs in the same year, so we
Okay.
share a dormitory.
So you share a dormitory. Is this now I'm going to ask you a relationship question with Moira. Is this a positive relationship you have with her or a negative relationship?
I think it's a positive relationship because we're both on the Quidditch team, but I think she's definitely a better player than I am.
Okay. I want you to roll a d20.
That is a 9.
A 9. Okay, so what is the kindest thing this character has ever done for you?
She gave me Quidditch lessons, or flying lessons, I should say.
Okay. Imogen got flying lessons. It's from Moira. I love it. Okay. Moira, we'll go to you. I want you to choose another character, preferably not Imogen, because we kind of already established one there, but somebody else. And pick somebody, I guess.
Euphemia.
Okay, Euphemia. Is this somebody you know or somebody you don't know?
I think I know her. I think we met in like year 2, maybe.
Okay. So is this now I'm going to ask you a relationship question with her. Is it a positive relationship or a negative relationship?
It's positive.
Okay, roll a d20.
2.
2. What do you admire about this character but would never tell them?
Oh. Oh God, I feel really on the spot.
No,
Okay.
yeah, it's okay. We can talk about it too. Anybody have any other ideas that can help it? Like are you both Hufflepuff? No, you're both.
I'm Ravenclaw.
You're Ravenclaw and you're Hufflepuff. So is there something about her Ravenclawness that you admire? Are you guys in classes together?
Yeah, I think I admire how easy school seems to come to her, and I don't know how, because I think you said that Sam, that Euphemia is really like good with charms. So I think mostly Moira's kind of envious of Euphemia's sort of probably a lot better at social situations than Moira is. Moira's
Okay.
really, really awkward. So I don't know if that fits with Euphemia's character. But
I've shifted things around a little bit, just after like looking how the stats all actually work, but could still work because
Yeah.
I've got the unassuming strength. Because I'm just, so awkward. Nobody ever really looks at me. So,
And this is how Moira specifically views Euphemia. So it might not be how Euphemia actually is, but that is how like you, for some reason, really admire this about her. And that's kind of the collaboration or the collaborative storytelling aspect of this game. Better at charm, we'll say. And then I'm writing this down so I can hopefully remember and weave it into the story. And well, let's jump over to Ben. Ben, pick somebody from pick somebody.
Okay. I'll go with Victoria.
And is this somebody you know or somebody you don't know?
No, kind of.
No, kind of.
So no,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it a positive relationship or a negative relationship?
More positive.
Okay, roll a d20. You guys are so positive.
9.
9. Let's roll it again.
Okay. I'm gonna roll it again.
You got another 9? Holy cow.
Yeah, I got an 8 the third time though.
Okay. What is your private nickname for this character and why?
Oh.
Maybe we hang out in the lunchroom or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I complain about the meatloaf.
And Victoria, you're a Ravenclaw. You're really good at
Yeah.
brains, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not so good at brawn.
Yeah. Bring my book to the lunch table.
And it's a positive nickname, hopefully. So it's something like even though you might be like, "Hey, Four Eyes," it's
Yeah.
in your light. It's a
Right.
you really like you think she might not like it, but in you, it's a positive experience.
Perps, because I think she has a fascination with the color purple. I've seen it on her a lot.
Okay. So you call her Perps. Okay, Perps nickname. I love it.
With a Z, to be clear.
Okay,
If I ever had to write it, it would be with a Z.
It's the best.
so P-U-R-Z, is that how you would pronounce it? Purs?
P-U-R-P-Z.
P-Z, okay,
Perps.
Perbs.
I feel like I have like a big purple robe I wear or something.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You
Or maybe a
changed
bow
things
in
to
your
the color
hair or
purple.
something.
Nails are purple.
Yeah.
Purple brooch. Oh yeah.
No, yeah. See, so yeah, we're kind of defining things about that. We'll go to Victoria. Who do you know, or pick somebody that you know or you don't know?
Oh, maybe I'll say I don't know. Is it Myra? Because she sits at like the far end of the lunchroom. Like I always see people over there, but I don't know them yet.
Okay, and you don't know her?
Maybe they're interesting to talk to. Yeah.
Roll a d20.
Okay. 18.
18. What is this character doing to threaten? This is crazy. Character
Uh-oh.
you don't know. What is this
Whoa.
character doing to threaten their family's reputation?
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I don't know.
Ooh.
So you know her because of her family, or you don't know her personally, but you know of her. You know of her family. The Moira. Moira, what's your last name? Do you know?
Gorse.
Gorse. So the Gorse family, the magical. Are you magical or Muggle-born or?
No, I was. My mom's a Muggle. And I was raised by her. My dad is apparently a wizard, but I've never met him. I don't know what happened to him.
Okay, so perhaps her. Yeah. So there you go. There's some more information. Or if this is too difficult, we can re-roll again. But I kind of like it. What is this character doing to threaten their family's reputation?
Maybe like she's like talking about something at the lunch table. Maybe she accidentally slipped, and like because I know in the Harry Potter realm, like in the real world, there's a lot of discrimination against like spellcasters.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe her mom did something that could have been like harmful, maybe even inadvertently toward the spellcasting community or something.
Okay.
But what was it that I do that's threatening my family? I'm sorry.
Maybe like while talking at lunch, she accidentally slipped and was like, "Oh, my mom was at this blah 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 meeting," and maybe that meeting's full of, like people who like are anti-spellcasters or something like that, and maybe it was inadvertent, or she was the caterer, but maybe there's a rumor going around about that.
No, that totally works because I kind of pictured her mom as being like not really into wizards. And not really happy about Moira not being a Muggle.
Cool. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. And finally, Sam, somebody around. Who do you know or not know? Pick someone.
Let's say I do not know Lucian because I don't really talk to many Slytherins.
Okay. Roll a d20.
18.
Okay. We are going to not do 18 because that's the one we exactly just did. So instead,
I could roll again. It's a 10.
All right, 10 works. How far would you go to get to know this character and why?
Let's see. Well, I mean, Lucian is very, very good at charms, and I want to be much better than I am. So I would have really, really liked to kind of get to know him better and maybe ingratiate myself a little bit. Maybe I can learn something that I didn't know before.
Because he's so good at charms.
Right? Did I remember that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Score. Ravenclaw. Nailed it.
Fantastic. Okay. Quickly, because I need to know as a dungeon or as a game master, what are our characters' strengths and flaws? I forgot to ask that. So we'll start. Go ahead, Victoria. Elise.
My flaws are I'm blunt and I'm reckless, so I'm all like, oh, I just want to cast a spell, and like instead of doing what I want to do, I rather break things or the wrong thing comes out. And then my strengths are being intuitive and protective.
Okay. Euphemia.
My strengths are I am always prepared and unassuming, and my flaws are that I am clumsy and a little neurotic.
Sweet. Lucian.
If I'm looking at the right section, my strengths are that I'm easygoing and lucky. Is that the right section there?
Yeah.
4.
I think so.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Those are strengths. What are your flaws?
Secretive.
Okay. Do you have 2 flaws?
I didn't. Was I supposed to pick
Yep.
2?
Pick another one. You're good.
All right, where's that? Someone does someone want to just pick one for me?
You are secretive. How about you are also vain?
Okay, that works.
Okay. Being really good
Yeah,
at
that makes
charms.
sense.
Yeah.
The best.
Imogen.
My strengths are that I'm easygoing and treasure hunter. I have a little niffler named Spinner that I found when he was a little baby, and I raised him, so he acts a lot more like a rat, but sometimes he finds things when I ask him to.
Nice.
And my flaws are that I am superstitious and insecure.
Nice. And Moira.
My flaws are I'm blunt. I'm not really given to social niceties. I'm insecure. I'm a very large girl and very Irish in the UK, so I feel like I kind of stand out a lot. But my strengths are I'm cool under pressure. I'm pretty good at keeping a level head. I'm very loyal to my friends, but I am a bit rebellious when it comes to authority.
Okay. That's awesome. Now, we'll dive into our game, I guess, and we'll start playing and see what kind of happens. So, you guys are all third years at Hogwarts. You're very familiar with magic at this point. You know certain spells. You might have a go-to spell like Harry Potter always had, Expelliarmus and things like that. So you might have that one that you're just super confident in. And who's on Quidditch? We got a couple Quidditch people. We got...
I am.
All right, we got lots of people.
I am, but I'm the bench warmer. I'm so terrible.
You're so terrible at Quidditch?
Everyone's
Okay.
oh, they let her on the field again.
What position do you play, Victoria?
Someone help me out. Is there an outfield equivalent? In
There's
It could be like a beater or a chaser, maybe.
Yeah, so the chaser goes after the main ball, the seeker goes after the snitch, and the beaters get the bad the bludgeoning balls out of the way. So do you think you're more defensive, or are you more going after it?
I'll go for defensive.
Or your keeper.
I'm trying so hard and think.
Okay. What about you, Imogen? What position do you play?
I'm a chaser.
Okay.
I'm not the one that scored all the points, though. I'm much more of an assistive player because my flying is not as good as everyone else's.
Okay. Euphemia?
I am the keeper, and it's mostly by luck more than genuine skill.
Okay. And Moira?
I'm the beater. Not especially agile, so I tend to kind of go for power. Just kind of drive down the line, kind of just try to knock everybody down with the bludgers.
Okay. So you guys are...
I meant, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, no. I'm a seeker because I see it as a star position, but also because it's solitary. I don't really have to play with the rest of the team.
That's right. Okay. I like it. So you guys are on Quidditch teams. I'm sorry, Lucian, but your team is not playing today. This is a Ravenclaw versus Hufflepuff game that is happening. Since we have so many Ravenclaws and Hufflepuffs.
Makes sense.
So you're in the stands, but you're there watching because I think it's a big school thing. All the school people come out and watch these games. You guys are mid flying around, and Victoria, you're fending off beaters left and right. The chaser is coming down the line, holding the ball, trying to score, but bludgeoning ball is coming straight at them. What do you do?
So the opposing team.
No, your team has it, but the bludgeoning ball is coming straight for your chaser. So what do you want to do?
Do I need to protect them? Because if so, I'll try to jump in front of it.
You can jump in front of it. You can try and hit it back. What do you want to do?
I'll hit it back.
Okay. Roll. Oh, and I should keep this up because it's going to help me. So roll a fight roll for me to see how well you knock this back. DC 5.
Okay. I got a whopping 1d6 in my fight. This is why I'm terrible at this game with a 2.
That's a 2? Okay.
Yeah, 2 on
So
die.
another thing about Kids on Bikes is that if you roll the maximum of your die explodes. So if you rolled a 6, you would roll it again and add the result. And you can keep doing that until you hit whatever difficulty class I have set as the game master. So you can't like roll a d20 and get another d20 and get another d20 and be like, oh my gosh, I got like a 60. What was the DC? And they're like, the DC was 7. Oh, I just like annihilate. Like that doesn't work. If you rolled a d20 and the DC was 7, you win. But sometimes the DC is like 25 or 26 and you can like explode that d20. Or D12s or whatever. So if you get the max of your die explodes. But you rolled a 2. So because you did not make the DC of 5, you get an adversity token. And so adversity tokens are used, they can be used, sometimes your strength allows you to use adversity tokens. Like I think Imogene's can do a treasure finder. She can spend an adversity token to like find a useful item around her. Otherwise, let's say the DC of a roll is 5 and you rolled a 4, you can spend that adversity token to make it a 5 to succeed. You can't right now because you can't when you get the adversity token. But you can. So this thing comes, you come and you swing so hard at it that you spin off and you are holding onto your broom like this. Meanwhile, this ball is coming straight up. And you, Victoria, you're a Ravenclaw. So the Ravenclaw chaser is going towards the goal, but this bludgeoning ball is right behind him. What are you guys doing? And Moira, you're a Hufflepuff, so what do you want to do?
I'm heading down to catch it with the bludgers and trying to knock down the chaser. It's got the quaffle.
Okay, make a flight roll. I think that sounds like a good one.
No, it's my best strength. 4.
Oh, that was the DC. So you totally come down. You get to describe how you succeed. So how does this succeed? You got a bludgeoner ball following the Ravenclaw chaser, and you're coming in.
Yeah, I swooped down and I just beat the crap out of the bludger into the chaser. Hits them right in the broom bristles and sends them spinning. Okay. So that they lose the quaffle.
Great. And so you pick up the quaffle. What are you doing next?
I'm tossing the quaffle to the chaser on my team.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to catch it.
Since she's right there.
And you try to catch it. Make a really easy Baron roll for me, like DC 2.
That's a 12.
Oh, 12. Okay, so you super succeed. So describe it to me. You catch this ball like. And I should say the bigger disparity between the DC and how much you are, that's a measure of how much you've succeeded. So if it was just 1, like you barely caught the ball, but since you have such a high number between the two, how do you catch the ball? What does it look like?
So it's like, looks like it's going to zoom past me, but I reach right out and scoop it up and I've got it under my arm and it's not going anywhere.
Sweet. And so you're running it down the line to the other side.
I am headed straight towards those rings.
Great.
And I'm chasing after Imogen to keep bludgers away from her as she heads to the goal.
Okay, sounds awesome. So Imogen, you've got the ball. What are you doing with it?
I would like to try to throw it through the left ring.
Okay, so we're gonna do because you're Hufflepuff, correct? I'm getting confused now. Okay.
And I'm the Ravenclaw keeper.
She's the Ravenclaw keeper. What we'll do is we will have you roll your fight, and Euphemia, you roll your flight to try and protect it. And whoever's higher is the winner.
3.
9.
9. All right. So describe it to us, Imogen. How do you score this point?
So this is like the best moment of my life because I am not great at this, but I'd circle around behind him, come along and like slide it right under her arm.
Excellent. And the crowd goes wild. Point to Hufflepuff. Ah! And like all the Hufflepuffs are just going crazy. You guys are now resetting for this next match. Your seekers are still zipping all over the place looking for this thing. And I want everybody to make we'll say a grit roll.
That includes me?
Yep, that includes you. And this is going to be DC 5.
Oh no.
I rolled an 8 for a reroll.
Oh, and Euphemia, take an adversity token because you failed your roll. So you get that.
I got 10 total.
10? Okay.
I got a flat 5.
5 wins, 4, 3, and 8. So Moira and Lucian take an adversity token. All of you see something weird and spectacular. The arena, not the arena, the stands that all of the audience members are in that are cheering on and going crazy for the sporting event. I'm really good at sports, guys. You can tell. I watch a lot of sports. I clearly know how sports work. In the stands, a section of it is like crumbling away. Like you see the stands are raised up and this stuff is like crumbling down and this black smoke seems to be coming out of the stands. Lucian, you see this and just kind of panic and run. Moira, you're staring at it like, I just don't know what's happening. And bludgers are flying every which way and you are not doing your job. Victoria, Euphemia, and Imogene, what are you doing that the stands seem to be disintegrating and this black smoke is coming up? What are you guys doing?
I like suddenly come to a halt on my broom and I'm watching to see what comes out and kind of looking at the group to see kind of reactions of everyone else.
Okay.
So
Euphemia?
Yeah, I'm just like frozen, like where I missed trying to reach the ball before. I'm like kind of drifting away, like just watching.
And Imogene?
I want to turn around from where I threw the quaffle and head towards the stands.
Okay. So you fly down, get a little closer to the stands. How close do you want to get to this?
Close enough that I can see what's going on, but not close enough where I could possibly be in danger.
Okay.
What I think it is I think something's on fire, so I'm at a fire safety distance.
You're at a fire safety distance. Okay. And indeed, excuse me about the hiccups. Indeed, something is on fire, and you definitely feel some heat radiating from this. And people have run away from the stands, so the stands are now empty. And this, the seats collapse down, and the whole arena has this like crevasse that has appeared. And out of this crevasse comes this giant-looking spider that is roughly the size of an elephant. And it is covered in black flames. Like the whole thing seems to be made of black fire. And it is approaching towards you. I need you to make another grit roll for me. Imogene.
That is a 6. No, 7.
7. Okay, perfect. So you, what do you want to do? Do you see this giant creature coming towards you?
I would like to cast Aguamente and shoot water at it. See if that does anything.
Now, is that a charm? That's what I need to know.
Yes.
Okay, so roll charm for me. And this one's going to be kind of tougher. It's DC 12.
I got a 9.
You got a 9? Okay, so your spell goes off and you shoot water at it, but it is not enough to really extinguish this giant fire tarantula that's like walking out of this thing. It hits it and steam and black smoke seem to envelop the whole area, kind of making visibility a little more difficult. The professors are scooting kids out. They're trying to get everybody out of the way. What are the rest of you guys doing as you see this giant, like weird black fire tarantula coming out of the stands onto the Quidditch field now?
So I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Moira.
Unless I'm still paralyzed with fear, I'm gonna snap out of it, go chase down a bludger and knock that bludger directly at the spider.
Oh, that sounds awesome. So you need to roll a fight check. And I think this is going to be a little more difficult because you're trying to get a bludger to go where you want it to go. So we're going to say DC 8. Six. All right. So take an adversity token.
Okay.
So you have an adversity token. You hit the bludger. The bludger goes straight between its legs and bounces back up. And it's like not interested in hitting this fire spider. It's looking for players. So then it zips off looking for another player. Lucian, you're hanging out in the stands. What are you doing?
Yeah. Are these the crumbling stands? Because
Well, where are you? I guess. Tell me.
I would like to run down the stands while keeping an eye on this spider. I
Mhm.
see that fellow students are attacking it, or trying to do something. I don't believe I have my broom on me, so I can't do that. But I try to get some distance, and I pull out my wand, and I just kind of wait and see what I can do.
Okay.
But I
So
make it clear, just kind of physically, that I'm on board with fighting this spider.
okay. So are you coming down onto the field, or do you want to stay up in the stands?
No, not the stands. I'm coming down out of the field.
Okay. So
Kind of-
yeah.
well, yeah, like the sidelines.
Yeah, exactly. So Lucian comes down onto the sidelines. Victoria, what are you doing?
There's probably like a bunch of people on the field. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna like kind of sneakily go to the side and pull like a dodgeball move where I like zip really quick like along the side and in front of where the spider is and try to cast like Confundo to make it disoriented and then keep zipping around to get back into like the crowd or like
Okay.
where all the players are.
Sounds awesome. Roll fight for me.
Let's do that as well. 1.
Take an adversity token.
I'm great at this sport.
Yeah. So a prefect, a Hufflepuff prefect. You all recognize her. Her name is Jane. She's also on the field, and she's walking up to this spider, seemingly trying to like stop it. And you zip up and go Confundo and hit her right square with her spell. And what does the Confundus charm do again?
Victim becomes confused and disoriented. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
So yeah, you're like, run, get out of there. And she's just like, what? And just starts running straight for this spider as she doesn't know what's happening now.
Oh no.
Yeah, Euphemia, what are you doing?
Well, Euphemia is actually afraid of bugs. So she's gonna just kind of be screaming and like flying like away from it. But
Okay.
I'm gonna try to cast Impedimenta, which is a jinx that prevents the target from approaching the caster
Okay.
by knocking back, tripping, etc. However, I am not very good at defense against the dark arts.
All right. We're gonna say DC 8, so give it a shot.
Okay, and that would be a fight, correct?
Fight. Yep.
2!
A 2.
Yeah.
So you hit this, your spell comes down and hits the ground, and a huge chunk of earth just like breaks away. And it does put its one of its spider legs in there and kind of wobbles a little bit, but it's pretty up there. The rest of the professors are yelling at you like, we commend your courage, but you guys should flee. Like, I don't think you can handle this, kind of a thing. But some of you are very rebellious. Maybe you're not listening to your professors. You got a spider and you got a Hufflepuff prefect running towards this spider. What do you guys do?
I'll probably not listen. No, I'll let someone else take a turn, but I know I'll be prepping for a turn.
Can I cast Levicorpus on the prefect, and that would just pick them up and dangle them by their ankle? Because I don't like their strategy right now.
Okay, yeah, the prefect is confunded, so it's like running. But this is perfect.
Yeah.
So is that? And you guys have to help me out if they're charms or not. It sounds like it's a charm.
I'm genuinely not sure.
Okay, we'll say.
Corpus? I think that would be a charm.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like
it
a charm.
sounds like
So
it.
go ahead and do charm.
Okay. All right. Plus. I have a +1, but I don't remember what it was from.
That's because
But
you're a
it's a
Slytherin,
12.
I think.
Okay.
So,
but
12.
it's a 12.
So the DC was 9. So you totally succeed. What does this look like, Lucian?
I thrust my wand forward like a rapier, and then a quick flick up. And I make sure that like so they don't bash their head into the ground. They float up for a second, kind of kick their legs, surprised that they're not running on the ground anymore, and then they just float upside down.
Nice.
By one ankle, and the rest of them just kind of like limp.
Nice. Yep. So Jane the Hufflepuff prefect, is out of danger for now. She's no longer running towards the spider, but the spider is still causing problems and running back and forth. As Jane's lifted up in the air, you see the spider react. It kind of like stops for a minute. It's almost like it's almost like a shiver goes through the entire spider, and you see all the flames kind of like flicker at the same time in the same direction, like a wind blew at it and then stopped. What are you guys doing? You still got a spider.
Are any of the rest of y'all trying to get away?
Are what? Sorry?
Anyone else trying to get away, or are we all just attacking this thing?
Oh, I'm definitely like flying away and down, but like backwards. Like I don't want to let it out of my sight because ew, bugs.
Okay, I'm just gonna be tagging along with Euphemia and basically kind of like shielding her.
Okay.
As I go, I'll I know it. I'll cast, if I can, I want to cast the Abulio Jinx and try to turn the spider into a bunch of bubbles.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. So roll fight, and we're going to say, because it's a weird spider of fire, I'm going to say, well, I'll say DC 9.
Okay. Real quick, and not to be rules lawyer, but this is a transfiguration spell. And
okay.
That is brawn.
Yes, that is exactly it. So go ahead and roll your brawn.
Good, because that's my 20.
Yes, fantastic.
All right. It was almost good. It's a 5.
It's a 5. So you cast this spell. 2 legs burst into bubbles. As the rest of it is kind of wings, but take an adversity token because the whole thing did not turn into bubbles. But 2 of its legs turn into bubbles, and it kind of like wobbles a little bit. And then you see 2 more fire legs like come out and reform as it's wobbling around. The water, you guys, and you'll notice this, I think it was Victoria that cast the water at the beginning. But no, it was Imogene. Sorry, Imogene cast the water. You did notice that did seem to do quite a bit of damage, even though there was lots of smoke and stuff, just not enough to get rid of it. But you guys are on the right track with spells. I think you're very creative. What are we doing with this spider?
Well, if I see that the water spell helped a little bit once I land, because I don't know, I don't want to be up in the air while it chases me. I'll shoot a jet of water towards it.
Okay. Roll charms, I believe.
I think so.
DC 7.
Ooh, 12.
12.
It was on my
fantastic.
D12 as well.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, you explode, but you don't need to explode because it was DC 7. So great job. Explain. You soak it with water. What does this look like?
It's just this little jet of water arcing from me, and I'm just like ew, 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 ew. And it splashes and like sort of hits one leg and like splatters onto the others, and just like this gout of steam starts to rise.
Yeah, so the steam rises up and envelops the whole arena, and you're just kind of like, like, and more water is coming out than you were kind of expecting. Probably you're just like, oh, this like water spell isn't ending, but that's good. And the steam clears, and the spider is gone. Yes, congratulations. Give yourselves a round of applause. You saved this thing. You saved Hogwarts. Good job.
Moira gives Euphemia a big hug. She's right there.
Euphemia's very confused.
Lifting her off the ground and like crushing her. So.
Oh my.
Can I say to them? Well, yes, if you guys are done bumbling about, perhaps we could take care of this prefect that's confused, and I guess I'll take responsibility for the fact that he's dangling upside down. Or she.
She.
Yes.
Imogen flies over to where Jane is and gathers her onto her broom.
Okay. And so she's just like, what's going what is happening? There was a thing, and all of a sudden I got very confused, and then I was up in the air. What's going on?
I'm kind of like ducking behind the other players. Like,
That's about the measure of it.
Oh, all
Take
right.
her to the ground.
Okay, and so she's on the ground. Who lifted me into the air?
I just whistle.
Okay.
I'm no
It's not
snitch.
important.
That's my secretive flaw.
I honestly probably didn't notice because giant bug.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for averting a terrible crisis. I want everybody to roll brains for me.
Oh no.
Ooh, great. 6.
6, and I exploded.
Okay, roll again.
7.
14.
So, sorry, we'll start with Victoria. You got a what?
14.
14?
That's my
And-
D20.
Oh, sweet. And Euphemia?
It's my D22, but I only got a 6.
All right, 6. Moira?
7.
7. And Imogene?
7.
7. And Lucian?
5.
5. Lucian, take a point and adversity token because you do not notice this. You're busy whistling and not really paying attention. The rest of you guys, as the steam clears, you see what looks to be like a softball sized, maybe a little smaller, maybe a baseball sized figurine made of something. It's dark, it's black, and it's in the shape of a spider, and it's exactly where the spider was on the field after all the steam and the smoke has evaporated or gone away.
And I have a question.
Might
So I'm
stick.
intuitive. Can I use my adversity tokens to see if like I can pick up a little more? Like, okay, we had one spider disappear, and here's another one. Like, am I making any connections?
Yeah, you want to spend an adversity token to kind of do that? Okay. So mark off that you spent an adversity token. And you walk over, we'll say, and maybe do some fancy detect magic kind of stuff. And you're getting like a really dark vibe off of this thing that this probably was used to summon the creature.
Ooh. Okay. Can I cast the what's the exploding spell? I'm terrible at exploding things. Oh, what's it?
You want to try, we'll just say you can try to destroy it with whatever magic you
Okay.
want.
I'm gonna do like Confringo to do the blessing charm.
Okay.
Like seek and destroy.
Try to destroy this spider. Okay. Roll fight for me.
Oh man, I'm terrible at this.
We'll say it's
Six.
DC, you got a 6. I was going to say DC 8. So
I-
take an adversity. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it blasted. No, I had a D6 for that one.
Oh, so it explodes?
10 total.
10 total? Yeah. Okay, so your spell hits it, and this thing, which after it explodes, you see that it's made of wood, and it blows up into a whole bunch of chunks, and there's like little weird spider chunks all over the area.
I wave my friends over like, ooh, this is weird. Very like worst thing going on here.
Did that explosion grab my attention?
Oh, absolutely. Did it?
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
You
I didn't
didn't
notice the
initially
spider
see
before,
this.
but now I see.
But you walk over, there's a big explosion. Yeah, you walk over and see that there are tiny little like spider legs and spider bits made of wood. It looked like a wooden toy almost, and now it's obliterated. But
Oh, sorry, guys.
Oh, that's gross.
Just wood.
Yes, but it was a big spider before, and
And do we notice any like craftsman? Like I'm looking at the pieces. Do I notice like a craftsman stamp or anything on there? Maybe.
make a brains check.
A 2.
Take an adversity token. No, you don't notice anything that sort. It's if it was there, it's probably gone because you destroyed it at this point.
Are there
danger?
Are there still teachers around? Are they like coming
Yeah.
over? Or...
So you see,
Okay.
there's various teachers, and for the, I'm not sure. I did look up the headmaster is Dumbledore in 1985 because we're in 1985 or 4. I forget where I put you guys.
85, I think.
So you guys are in 1985 Harry Potter. So this is after the Dark Lord attacked Harry's parents, and because Harry was born in 81. Or no, Harry was born earlier, but that accident happened in 81 when he was a year old. And so the Dark Lord is like gone. People are happy about that, but they don't really know where he went. And it's before he rises again, which is in 1991. So so a bunch of teachers are coming up and they're just like, students, are you okay? Are you okay? What's going on? And you recognize this guy as being, I have a name for him. I just have to look it up.
Like alcohol under like smoke. Like we're good.
I'm like crying.
Hug you.
This is Gregory Chrismere. Chrismere is your defense against the dark arts teacher. And he is kind of like a bumbling, like, oh, whatever. And he walks up and he's like, students, are you okay? What's going on? You seem to handle that quite well. I can only say that my class might have encouraged you to been so rebellious, but you should always run away from danger, even though you think you can handle it. It's defense against the dark arts. It's not out looking for trouble, dark arts.
But someone could have gotten
They are
hurt.
defending.
Sometimes if you run from the dog chases you. So I just react.
And I'm
They're
terrible at
defending
class,
the
so I'm like,
school.
sometimes the best defense is a good offense.
Yes, these are all very, very good things. But I must understand that I'm here to protect you, and I can't protect you if you run headfirst into danger.
Well, I mean, really, we were just all there anyway because of, the game and everything. And it just sort of made sense that, we did what we could while we were already like right there. Because did you see it was right there. It was coming at us.
What she
Nice,
said.
this I did see. Go ahead, Moria.
What she said.
Oh.
And I think she did run away just a little bit.
I did try. I'm sorry, I'll run better next time. Sorry.
I would like to try to brush past him and take Jane to a different teacher.
Okay.
I'm
Where she can
following
be
her. I'm like,
unconfronted.
avoid.
Oh.
So we'll say Professor McGonagall comes down and she's kind of checking on all of you guys and making sure if you're okay. And she says, does anybody need to go to the hospital wing? Are you all right? And she's, kind of patting your shoulders, making sure everything's still there. You're not burned or anything, are you?
No, but I think Jane could use some help.
I'm gonna
Maybe
look
that
right in Professor McGonagall's eyes and just like totally dead face. So who won?
Well, I do believe there will have to be a rematch later on, but now is not the time with the Quidditch field in the way it is. So we'll get onto this and have a rematch, but really this shouldn't be your concern right now. I'm a little paused. All of you should go back to the Grand Hall, and I'm sure Dumbledore will have some kind of something to say about this in a bit.
So while everyone's distracted with him talking, I
Mhm.
kind of wander off and fly kind of stealthily toward where like the wall crumbled.
Okay.
I'm kind of like peeking down past there to see if anything else is like on its way, maybe out in the distance.
Okay. Roll brains.
Okay. 14.
14. So you successfully see this is not an area that's an entrance to the Quidditch field. And in fact, it's one of the walls that was facing towards the Forbidden Forest.
Ooh.
And you see that there are a bunch of footprints around this area. Like somebody was walking around here before this thing happened. They're fairly fresh, but they could have been hours earlier or they could have been minutes earlier. You're not entirely sure.
Is there a teacher I could wave down?
Sure.
Or one of my friends, like whoever's nearby, I'm like, hey, I found something.
And we'll say that the Defense Against our Dark Arts professor, he comes running over, and to make sure you guys are all included, you're like, oh, she found something. The rest of you come running over as well.
Ooh.
Whose are those? Those adult-sized footprints.
They could be adult-sized footprints. You're not entirely sure.
Kind
But
of
they
like
look-
dangling my foot off the broom.
They don't
like,
look like first years, and they don't look like third year footprints.
But
So-
they look like people footprints, right? Because I know there's weird things out in the forest. They tell us there's all kinds of weird things.
What's the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher's name again?
Let me look it up because I keep forgetting. Gregory Crismere.
Ravenclaw strikes again.
I give you a high five. Come here, Ravenclaw.
I'm gonna look pointedly at Crismere and like, it looks like your feet would fit these prints.
And he walks over and he puts his foot on one of the prints, and it blatantly doesn't. He's got huge feet, and it does not fit at all. He's
So
like,
when
I think you're mistaken, Moira.
So when I kind of
Maybe
dangle
use
my
a spell that
foot.
made your feet small.
Go ahead, Victoria.
Oh, so sorry. So when I kind of like dangled my foot close to one of the prints, did it look like it was like close to my size or a lot bigger, smaller?
How tall are you? How big are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm probably like an
You're 13.
80-pound
But
kid,
are you one of those
so-
like really tall 13-year-olds that kind of got their growth
Oh.
spurt early, or?
I'm like really I'm short. Like
Okay.
I'm the shortest kid in class, and like linky.
So what's your shoe size? We'll say that your character's
I'll
shoe
say
size.
like a 6 in women's.
Okay, so this is probably 7 or an 8 in women's. Like not huge, but bigger than your feet.
Does it look like women's footwear?
Make a brains check.
Oh yeah, or like Quidditch cleats or something. I don't know. Do you need cleats when you play Quidditch?
16 for.
Holy cow!
Oh, that's my 20.
I know. Yeah, so definitely it does look like women's footwear. Like it belongs to a woman.
They're stylish. It's a women's, like the nice pointy ones that are in style. Yeah.
Sure.
Can I flag down Professor McGonagall?
Yeah,
Or is
she's
she
right
already
there.
over there?
She's with you. She like followed over as the Defense Against the Dark Arts professor ran off. She followed you guys, so she's here. Yes, child.
Do you recognize these?
No.
They look like very posh footwear.
They do look rather nice. There's nothing that I would wear, and she kind of has just kind of regular shoes. We'll say she's wearing some kind of heels, but so like the whole size of it doesn't match. Now, I guess I'll ask you, Victoria, are these shoes, are they like, what kind of shoe did you find?
I'd imagine they're like a really stylish, like adult boot. Maybe
Okay.
they like have like lacing up the front. And
Okay.
They're like, I don't know, they're like the hit right now in shopping.
Okay.
I'm guessing since I like purple, I like shopping.
Nice.
And I'm all like, oh, I wish I could get a pair of those kind of shoes.
Okay.
So-
So sorry, what did you ask, Imogene? Or did I answer your question? I forget.
No, I think you answered my question.
Okay. Yes. And so you guys are kind of like looking at footprints right now, and the professors are very confused as to what's happening. Gregory Crinsmere, the Defense Against Dark Arts teacher, is just like, well, I mean, we haven't seen magic like that since. And McGonagall's like, oh, shush. Like, we don't. And she kind of like looks at him like, we don't talk about that. And he's like, oh, right. And she's like, not in front of the students. And she's like, oh, yes, sorry. And he turns to the you didn't hear me, right, students? You're fine. Yes, everything's
I'm,
fine.
like,
We'll
looking
take care of
off at a
this.
bird or something.
Yeah.
Like, here, watch, Professor.
Oh, yes, very good. Thank you, Euphemia. Always a star, Raven. 10 points to Ravenclaw.
Imogene is just kind of staring at him dead face. Like, you know my father's an R, right?
Well, I don't think we need to get the Ministry of Magic involved in any of this. I mean, well, the professors will take care of this. Don't worry.
I whisper.
If anyone
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
took to the sky and maybe perhaps looked out to see if there's anyone on the periphery going into the woods, anything like that.
Yeah, make I guess a brains check to kind of get a check of the whole lay of the land.
Well, I don't have a broom, so I was asking them if they could.
Oh, you were asking them with a broom to go.
I'll
scoot
hold
around.
my broom out to Lucian and go, well, if you want to take a spin, you can borrow mine.
Oh, that's very kind. All right, yeah, so I just kind of float
Back.
straight up.
Okay,
Just a 6.
a 6 that succeeds. You don't see anything out of the ordinary. The forest is right there. Dumbledore is kind of like herding children with all the prefects into the right area. And McGonagall turns to you and says, well, I think we should get poor Jane to the hospital wing just to get her checked out.
I whisper to Euphemia. I'm like, we need to keep an eye on those teachers. I want to know what this big secret is. So,
Oh, but I don't think that's any of our business.
no, but if there's something dangerous going on, you don't want any more spiders, do you? You don't like
No.
spiders. So let's see if we can figure out how to get rid of those scary spiders. Let's ask our friends too.
Okay.
Like wave everyone over. Like, what do you guys think?
And we'll say McGonagall
We know
took
if Hagrid
McGonagall took Jane away to the hospital wing.
Yeah, I figured.
Your Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher is just like, well, if everything's safe, and he kind of wanders off too. So you guys are alone right now.
Now that we know that it seems like some kind of toy basis was used, do we know what kind of magic would have been needed to make it big and scary? Somebody who was really good at whatever kind of magic that is would have had to do this.
Look, It looks like a transformation. That would be transfiguration, probably, I would think.
Yeah, and you do think that. And that is a very astute observation because you're changing one little creature into another thing. You also understand that this is probably some dark magic. Like, this is not something you're taught in schools. And it's a little off, I guess. It just feels wrong.
The library.
Just snoop in their office. See if they have an evil book.
Don't have to go
Seems
to
like some pretty advanced dark magic.
Do you think the restricted section maybe has something on? Well, this sounds fun.
I mean, what kind of a school would have information like that just on hand?
I will also say, because of your really great brains roll, Victoria, that you do notice. Well, no, never mind. I'm going to take that back. Sorry.
I'm like,
I'm going to take that back just because. Sorry.
DM secret.
I'm like that. Secret
went out
DM
my
stuff.
brain.
You're like, wait, no, it's gone.
Yeah.
So you guys we're kind of in a funny place right now where you can kind of do whatever you want. Ideally, you're going about your daily classes and things like that, but you all have free time to meet up. And there was talk of going to the library. Where would you guys like to go? Or what would you like to do?
Do we know if Hagrid was at the match?
Hagrid was not at the match, but he is the groundskeeper, so he is currently working.
He just
at
has to
Hogwarts.
clean the mess up, poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's scared of magical creatures yet, is he?
No,
Not
he's not a
yet.
professor, but he's a groundskeeper. So.
And he lives right next to the forest.
And he'd be like way younger, right? Because he's probably only like 20 or so at this point.
He'd probably be pretty. So he's got like a shorter beard instead of the big longer one.
Yeah, he was like expelled in the 70s, I think,
Yeah.
or something like that. Oh man, hippie Hagrid! Holy I never knew I wanted that.
Oh, he was definitely a hippie.
Right?
Like, there's no way he wasn't.
Living in like a van instead of that hut.
Background carpet in the van.
There's a couch in there.
Right?
There's like
A very large couch.
I think Imogen is going to head off towards Hagrid's hut.
Okay.
I'll follow the group.
She'll probably change out of her Quidditch robes though.
Yeah, let's go change.
Me too.
I guess I'll follow the group too.
I wasn't invited, so I'll go to the library.
Oh,
I guess I can't. I
Hagrid,
probably can't even get in there.
You've got my broom back. You've got to give me my broom back. So you know.
I start to walk away, and then I remember you mentioned I have your broom. I'm like, oh yes.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
gotta like
Oh,
drag.
well, we were just gonna go see if Hagrid maybe knew anything because he knows a lot about the forest, I guess. So I mean, you know, if you wanted to come with us, Lucian, you can.
Yes, it sounds like it could be interesting.
Do we know
Thank
what
you.
time Madam Prince usually closes up the library?
The library would probably be closed it's probably open very, very late because lots of students like study very late. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the overlays because I didn't realize that all of our stuff got confused. But I don't, do third years have access to the restricted section?
No, you
No.
need
No.
like special teacher permission.
Yeah, so you'd need
Yeah.
permission to go there. But we'll just say like the library's open if that's where you want to go. So.
I mean, we could sneak into the room.
Well, I'm wondering if we
scout
need
it
to visit this at nighttime hours.
Or create a distraction of some sort.
Oh.
Well,
What
do we
kind of
want to go
distraction?
talk to Hagrid first?
Hagrid, is that the consensus?
Or do we want to go to the library?
Or the library? Or, yeah, you can go anywhere, really.
I mean, Hagrid is outside, so if we wanted to go and talk to him right from the field, we could do that and then go into the library and maybe we can research whatever he might know about.
Well, wasn't there a thing with Hagrid and a spider? Am I misremembering that?
We don't
I
talk
know,
about
I mean,
that.
my parents talked about stuff, but I'm not supposed to repeat it.
Imogen is kind of like edging her way towards his little hut.
Okay.
Very slowly.
Do the rest of you guys follow?
Yeah.
Whatever it does,
I
yeah.
do.
Okay.
Let's do it.
You guys walk over to Hagrid's hut. It's very tiny for the half giant. It's good and homely for him, but it's kind of like just, I mean, you all know what Hagrid's hut looks like. It's Hagrid's hut. And you walk up and knock on the door, boom, 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 boom. And you see it open and Hagrid's there and he's like, oh, I don't have a good Hagrid voice. He's like,
What a weird thing for him to say.
Probably like a not Scottish dwarf.
yeah. Children, what brings you here?
Did you hear all of the commotion?
I was taking a nap, honestly. What's
Hippie
going
Hagrid.
on? Is everyone okay? And he gets a little like panicked for a minute.
There was a weird thing with a big spider and some fire.
A spider on fire or a fire on spider?
I think it might have been a little of both.
But
Where-
your family killed it.
Oh, well, good job.
Oh, no, I mean, I think it was everybody, really.
It was a team effort, but
I lifted a prefect. It was. I never thought I'd get to do that.
Sounds like you've all had quite the adventure. I'm happy that you're safe. Where did this happen?
It was during a Quidditch match.
And is the field okay? Am I going to have to clean something up? And he kind of like
a little
sunks.
bit.
Yeah. One of the whole towers for the spectators is it's had some structural issues.
Oh, and he just kind of like shakes his head and he's like, oh, this, I've been telling them they need to repair that place and get it up to code, and they just know the wizarding code for Quidditch fields. But we're not making as much money because we're kind of a public school, and so.
But afterwards, we did see some rather strange looking footprints in the area, and we thought that perhaps living so close to the forest, you'd maybe seen someone pass by.
Roll charm for me, Imogene. DC 5.
5.
Oh, sweet. And so he looks like he doesn't really want to say anything. And he's like, listen, I'm not about getting students in trouble. You know me, but I want them to be safe. But I saw a student running towards the Forbidden Forest earlier today.
Well, what did he look like?
Well, it was wearing darker robes. I think it was a student. It could have been somebody else, but it looked like they had darker robes and a hood over, and they were walking into the Forbidden Forest. And he says this was much earlier this morning, like before the Quidditch match even began.
Well, he certainly sounds innocent.
That seems like an interesting conclusion to jump to.
Probably a Slytherin.
Oh, shots fired.
That would be hard to refute. If I'm just going statistically.
Is that all, Hagrid?
Well, I mean, that's it. And then I saw that person, but I didn't want to get any of the students in trouble. And I know how some of them like to sneak into the woods. And, the woods, they say that it's forbidden, but really, I go in there all the time with Fang, or maybe Fang's not around yet because that was later on. But he's like, I go in there with Fetch, my dog, and we're really happy with a lot of the creatures that are in there. They're all our friends, really. It's just people don't understand the magical creatures that live in the forest. So I figured somebody was feeding the squirrels or the centaurs something. He's like, and then I took my nap. As one does.
Like you do.
It seems very patronizing to the centaurs.
Oh, they love a good snack now and then. Oats. It's just delicious. The things a centaur would do with oats.
I'm glad you clarified that it was oats.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was the snack.
Just lift
Straight up
you gotta keep your hand flat when you feed the centaur.
I mean, I provide salt licks for the centaurs all the time. I go out to the woods, Forbidden Forest, and leave salt licks for them. They
now
love
I'm
it.
confused as to which half is the horse.
Yeah. Stuck with me.
The Wizarding world's greatest question.
I still want to snoop. Oh, I like whisper to whoever's closest. I still want to snoop in that teacher's office.
You still want to what?
I still want to snoop in that teacher's office. The one who's like,
Oh,
Okay.
the defense against the dark arts teacher, where he was just like, we don't talk about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can I hear you say that from where I am?
It's up to you.
yeah, up to you.
Do you hear that?
I'm kind of like in the bag. Like I'm looking around. I feel like, oops, what? And like, yeah, I can say like 2 of your backpack.
Moira
Okay.
here's the suggestion of breaking and entering a place like a dog whistle. So yeah, she definitely heard.
Like do it in a way where hopefully Mr. Hagrid doesn't hear because I don't want detention again.
And he's not very paying attention. He's more concerned with like, and in fact, Hagrid's probably like, well, children, I got to go check on the Quidditch field. And he probably walks over to go assess the situation. Unless you have some more questions you want to ask him.
Yeah, because I might be like, if we get caught, I'll just be like, oh my god, like I'll ask my notes for the charm class, and I thought I left them in here, and yeah, we'll do that. Blame me. Yeah.
I think when I hear you,
Oh no, did we lose Katie?
Oh no!
Oh no.
Frozen.
Don't hit her with the charm.
Internet!
oh no,
Oh, there you
cast
are.
Reparo on
You're back.
Wi-Fi.
You're back, Imogene.
sorry.
Okay.
But you were saying we didn't hear you.
Oh, when I hear her say that she wants to break into that specific teacher's office, I am all for it because I think he's a bit of an idiot.
All right, let's do it, and then we'll hit the library. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I love this plan. Let's take a 5-minute break so I can get some water and use the bathroom, and then we will meet back up. So,
Works for
Alright.
me.
and we're back. The consensus was to go sneak into Professor Krismir's office, not his classroom or his office, I'm assuming. Is it the same
his
thing?
office. I'm a Ravenclaw, and I'm a total snoop. So I was a sibling. I went through all your things.
So,
I'll kind of stand and keep watch, and if I see him, I'm gonna ask him for help because I'm so terrible in his class,
so
and he knows it.
you guys had the rest of the afternoon off because it was kind of like for the game, but the game has been suspended now. So you're not sure where Professor Krismir is. He might be talking to Dumbledore or the other teachers, trying to formulate a plan as to what's going on with this weird black fire spider. So you guys go sneaking up into his office, and this is all the fun of this game, but also what frustrates me about this game is I have to improv just about everything because I'm like, I don't know where you're gonna go.
We believe in you.
But
You do a good job.
it's weird. It's full of like there are chests not floating around, but there are chests around. There are bookshelves full of all kinds of Defense Against the Dark Arts books and things like that he uses to teach. He's probably got a desk with some lesson plans kind of laid out. And you guys come walking in here. What do you see as you guys come walking into this room?
Oh, I would beeline to his
probably-
desk, and I'm like,
Yeah.
looking drawers. I'm like, oh, what's this bottle in here?
Yeah, but he's got like all kinds of
That
weird,
doesn't
like,
My-
I don't know, various like amulets or something hanging around as
Okay.
like, visual aids and like all
Mhm.
kinds of, I don't know, a bunch of like smelly garlic and like,
And you see that he's got a lesson plan currently open. And on it, it says third year Defense Against the Dark Arts. And it says Patronus Charm with a big like circle around it. Like he needs to teach you guys that or has been teaching you that. We'll say that actually. You guys are somewhat familiar with the Patronus Charm, but he's somehow emphasized it. And the Patronus Charm, for those of us who don't know, is when you summon a animal spirit looking thing that defends off Dementors and can send messages and do other weird things. It's kind of a catch-all
I'm gonna-
spell.
Moira's just gonna snap up all the lesson plans that she can see and answer Katie and such things.
Okay.
Euphemia looks very scandalized, but I'm not brave enough to say anything
I'm
about
like
it.
helping her stuff it in the backpack. Like,
Yeah.
How do I use one of my treasure hunting thing. How, like, do I just say I'm going to use this adversity token?
Yeah, I think so. You just kind of, I mean, we try to work it into the narrative, but it sounds like you're already doing that. Let me look up how it works. You may spend 1 adversity token to find a useful item in your surroundings. So yeah, so you're searching around in this items. I guess I leave it. So spend an adversity token. So you lost an adversity token. What are you looking for? And maybe I can help you find something, or do you have something very specific in mind that you want to find?
Something that looks either like it looks similar to like the weird figure that we saw after the spider was destroyed, or something that looks maybe it was made out of the same material.
Okay.
And I'll just like send Spinner out and have him wander around the office with me.
I think typically it's like, you know what, Jordan, I want to spend an adversity token to have a super soaker with me. And I find that, and then I'm able to use that in whatever. But I'll give it to you. That's a good use of it. It's just keeping me on my toes.
Okay.
So you don't find... You find that same wood.
Okay.
But it's shavings. And it's on the floor near his desk, but in the front of his desk, not like behind his desk where he would sit. And it looks like you didn't get a super good look at it before Victoria destroyed it, but it was slightly shaved. Like maybe somebody whittled it. And so you're kind of getting the idea. And it's that same really black, dark wood. And you feel it. And even though they're shavings, they're pretty heavy. Like it's a dense wood.
I like scrape it up.
Mm-hmm.
Scrape that up and put it in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I close all the desk drawers and I open up his coat closet and I have my wand kind of like poking through the coats and the boxes. I'll also spend an adversity token to use my intuition again, to really like soak it in, I guess, and to see if I see anything out of the ordinary, like dark magic, I guess, or something like maybe a teacher shouldn't have.
Okay. So what is Victoria most scared of?
Monsters in the night.
Monsters in the night?
Yeah.
So you open this door to his coat closet, and before you can even start snooping around, a monster comes tumbling out with huge fur, large jagged teeth. It almost looks like a rabid bear, but like just evil and got like large claws. And it comes walking right towards you. What do you do?
It's like I tried slamming the door shut and it's out now, and I'm like freaking out. I'm by the door, like
roll grit for me, actually.
aiming a thing at it, like get back. Oh,
And
no.
I'm gonna spend an adversity. When do I spend adversity tokens? Is that before or after the roll is made?
Ooh.
After the roll. So after the roll is made, if you didn't make it, you can spend adversity tokens to try and get to it. So
Okay, I had an
What-
explode.
Would I need to like make a brains check or something to see if I can figure out what is happening? Because I mean, like Sam knows. But
okay, yeah, make a brains
not
check.
third year Euphemia would. Oh, not good. That's only 2.
All right, take an adversity token. You are convinced this is a giant monster that's coming out to get you. What did you roll, Victoria?
I had an explode and 12 total.
12? Okay, so you're fine. So you're not like totally scared of this thing. You're able to do that. And what do you want to do?
Like I'm still panicked, so I'm just I know this is probably like a terrible idea, but I like cast that explode thing on it again, which is probably gonna draw like way too much attention and get us in trouble. But I'm just like so panicked. Like, explode spell.
All right, roll fight, I guess. And we're gonna say DC 8.
3.
3. Okay. The entire cabinet explodes. And you see this thing like wheel around, and it's like very confused. It looks over at Lucian, Lucian, where are you at, actually?
I was in the hall, then I heard something explode. So I run in, and if this is what I think it is, do I still see a monster or?
Well, what are you most scared of?
Public humiliation.
All right, so you see your fellow Slytherin classmates, maybe the prefect for Slytherin. He appears in front of you, and he just starts berating you and telling you that you're just awful and that you're not good enough for all of this stuff, and you'll never be a powerful Slytherin. Like he's trying to belittle you.
I kind of just cover my ears and say, "Shut up, shut up." So to everyone else, I'm just telling a monster to shut up.
No. It's no longer a monster. You all see it change too. It changes into this like human
yeah, that's
creature.
how
Can we
that
know
works.
what?
Okay.
Can we like figure it out now that we've seen a transformation?
Absolutely. So this is a boggart that was hanging out in the coat closet. And you guys, go ahead, Imogen.
Imogen would like to jump in front of it.
Okay.
Or I guess between it and Lucian.
All right. And what do you most fear, Imogen?
Large bodies of water.
All right. So it turns into a tidal wave that comes crushing towards you. What do you do?
I would like to cast Ridiculous.
All right. Give it a cast. We'll make it really easy. DC 3. This would be a charm or a fight, whichever one you're better at.
Okay, I'm going to do fight. Hit. I got a 2.
You got a 2. Do you want to spend an adversity token to make it a 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So you succeed. What does this look like?
So there's going to be, it looks like there's a drain in the floor, and it's all just going to swirl down the drain and go away.
All right. So it swirls down the drain. It then the drain like picks up off of the floor and it zips over to one of the open chests and goes inside, and the door shuts on the top, and you see it like kind of clunk around as it's trying to be spooky within this chest, but it is contained. So you blew up a teacher's cloak closet. All right. What do you guys want to do next?
This is basically a mimic at this point.
Yeah.
We're gonna lose so many points for this.
Not if they don't know.
They
It
don't
was
have to know.
us.
They don't have to know.
Yes, but if we all lose points, well, then Gryffindor gets an advantage. But
let's go to the library and look
Don't they
studious.
always?
Come on, guys. I got my pencil.
Going
Just leave
to the
office
library?
a total mess.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to
What
do
was
anything
it?
with the
Wait,
office, or do you just want to leave it?
Can we use like Reparo? I
Yeah.
don't know if we can
I'll
just make
use,
another closet.
Sergio to like clean up the like soot and like ash pieces.
Okay. Is that? Do you think that would be a? Feels like it could be a brawn or a charm. I'll let you choose, brawn or charm.
I think charm.
Okay.
It's
We'll
like
say-
a household dealio.
Yeah.
13.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So you definitely kind of clean it up, repair the thing so it's all there and everything's cleaned up. The boggart is still in the chest, no longer in the closet though, so that might throw the professor for a loop. But other than that, the office looks back to normal, except for the answer keys that you guys stole. So
I was gonna. Can I cast the duplication charm on the papers so I can have my own copy?
yes, you can.
Nice.
Roll charm for me.
Is that a charm spell or is it a transfiguration?
Oh,
spell?
Transfiguration. Roll Transfiguration. We'll say DC 5.
I'm like pretending I don't see so that I don't have to lie about it later.
10 total.
Okay, so you succeed. What is it? And you make an exact duplicate of this and you stuff it in your bag. Do you keep the originals or do you keep the duplicate?
No, I'll leave the originals out
Okay.
on the table, like where they were, but not like I didn't like put them back together in order. Just kind of like threw them in a pile.
Awesome.
This is fine.
This is fine. So can we go to Hogsmeade now?
Maybe we should bring those shavings to Professor McGonagall or something.
But what if she asks where we found them?
We just tell the truth.
It's a novel idea.
That's one.
I
we
would
just-
rather not.
We just tell her that we broke into a teacher's office and rifled through all of his things.
Well, we were just, looking for some help and to help, and we found this thing, so maybe that will be, helpful and useful.
How do we know that she's not evil?
Well, I mean, Professor McGonagall's not evil. I mean, I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying,
she's
we
really
are suspicious of this guy, are we not?
I mean, not necessarily. We just found the shavings in the classroom. It could be anybody who, just took the class or was in the class very recently.
But what if she tells this Gregory, right?
Gregory
Or-
Krismere. Yeah, Professor
Yeah,
Krismere.
Professor Krismere, that
Professor.
what if she shows the shavings to him, not knowing that they're from his office, and then he's
Well,
alerted?
Well, we tell her that that's where we found them. I don't see what the problem is.
Yes, we just
Yes,
found
you're
them.
right. I'm a little. Yes, I
I don't want to get in trouble.
me
Look
neither.
for more clues first.
I'm just trying to play the. I'm trying to play the secretive flaw.
Well, I mean, they're probably going to find out one way or the other, and maybe it's better if we just tell them, like, right away what the actual truth is immediately before anybody gets upset, before we even get to say anything to anybody, and maybe she'll know what's going on or something.
Or we could not tell anyone anything and pretend we have nothing to do with this until
like
and
that.
unless we figure things out and we save everyone. If this is like a big bad thing, but until we're like heroes and whatever, I think we should maybe just keep things on the down low. Maybe not tell everyone. I mean, I'll go along with whatever you want, Euphemia, but I don't think that wouldn't be my preferred course of action.
Well, you have my vote.
Yeah, except he's evil. You target your favorite teacher.
Perhaps we can check the library.
Okay, library it
Sounds
is.
like a good idea.
You guys make your way to the library looking for more clues to whoever summoned this weird fire spider thing. And it's the library. It's full of books. Where are you searching? Are you trying to break into the restricted section? Are you trying to do just regular research? What do you guys want to do?
I would like to research through history books and see like what kind of spider iconography may have like shown up in like, I don't know, various things in the past maybe.
Awesome.
I've now noted history of magic as my best class. So.
Okay, so make a history of magic check. Brains check, I think.
Come on! Ooh, that's an 18.
Holy cow, yeah. So you find there is a history behind this spell. And it was used by people who followed the Dark Lord back in the 1980s.
Oh.
And
Just in the 1980s.
it was invented...
Early 1980s.
It was invented by the Dark Lord himself. And so you learn that not only... is this spell like it's kind of an antithesis to the Patronus charm. So in order to summon the Patronus charm, you have to have all these good feelings and you have to hold on to this like good memory. That was the one spell that the Dark Lord never mastered because he didn't have any good memories to hold on to. So he never was able to conjure a Patronus. So in retaliation, he created a way for him to conjure these weird fire dark creatures. And so it's kind of like an anti-Patronus in a way.
Like a Dementor, just add water.
No, because they don't suck like good feelings out from you. They're just, whereas a Patronus is protective. This one is offensive. Does that kind of make sense?
Okay, that makes sense. And it's like conjured by like feelings of hatred and fear rather than happiness.
Well, you're not really sure about that because your history of magic doesn't go into exactly how to do this. It just kind of gives you the history of the spell. Yeah.
I'm just figuring because it's like the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, well, we probably really should go and talk to Professor McGonagall now, and I'll like point out the passage to everybody.
Can I look through like a herbology book or something to see if there's anything that looks similar to that wood, or if I know what it is?
Make a brains check. Two. Nope. Take an adversity token.
It comes from some kind of tree.
It's wood, guys.
Well done. Thank you.
And And I asked Lucian, I'm like, do you think there's something in the restricted section we need? And I'm going to get my kid off the counter.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you want to save your child?
Oh, hi.
That was adorable.
Looked like he was kind of sitting on her shoulder for a second. Like a
Right?
miniature parrot boy.
That was some forced perspective happening. Just like, oh, there they go.
But yes, Lucian, are you interested in the restricted section?
I am. How many people are around here?
How many people are around here? You tell me.
Oh. There, there's a couple of attendants, keeping each other. They're talking to one another, but they're definitely aware of the restricted section and not gonna just let anyone in. And a handful of students. I don't feel comfortable just going right in, but I'm like, well, if you guys want to go in the restricted section, perhaps we could do something clever.
Like distract?
Yeah, but
Like
in a clever, non-obvious way. Or we can just go full reckless and push over a bookshelf.
What are we looking for in there exactly?
Well, I think you have a good lead in the books that you found. Perhaps we can dive deeper into these spells. If we knew the components and the how of this spell, perhaps we could piece more together.
Oh, that's true. Maybe if they need some sort of special ingredients, we'd be able to figure out who needed those ingredients most recently. That's true. Okay.
And so where they could get them.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what to do other than that, though.
Yes, that's where I'm hitting it. That's where I'm stumbling.
Yeah. How do we get into the restricted section?
I'll cause a distraction.
Okay.
Or maybe I could spend a token to use unassuming strength to just kind of like sidle on in and like, I belong here. Totally got a note from a teacher.
So there's charm. You can try and charm your way past the like quote unquote guards, the people that are hanging out there. You could I think also use I lost my thing here. You could also use I would say grit to kind of be like, hey, we belong here, or hey, I forgot my card. I need to get in here, but I totally have permission. You guys could go talk to the professor and try to get permission. I leave it up to you, but there is an obstacle of getting into the restricted section. So
Ooh, I got an idea. Should we, I don't know if this is bad or good, but should we be like, hey, we heard some weird sounds in that guy's office, like something knocking around in there, and then have them go investigate while other people slide in? I don't know.
No, so we could get into a shouting match, a squabble.
And since this is my idea, I can.
Oh, cause like another distraction and everybody else slip in. This could work.
You guys.
Who wants to be distraction? Who wants to be team research?
Distraction.
Research, if I may.
Probably
research.
I'll help distract.
all right, so Victoria and Moira, what are you guys doing? And Euphemia can help out as well, I'm assuming. But what are you guys doing to cause a distraction?
Man. I'll just go for it unless you guys have a better idea.
Yeah, I think I was actually going to help with the research.
Okay. Moira, what do you want to do?
I'm excited.
Can we go for it?
Is there a spell I can use to make really loud music happen or really loud sounds?
Yes. I do not know it off the top of my head, but I will allow this.
Charm. Doesn't that one make loud sounds?
Yeah.
So you have to roll charm if you want to make a loud sound.
Oh, that sucks. Whatever,
But so there's a rule here in Kids on Bikes that if it's not a split second decision, like you're not on a broom trying to make a quick second decision, like you guys have a plan, then you can take half of your die roll automatically. So if you have a D6 in charm or a D6 in whatever we're going to have you guys roll, then you would take half of it, because this is a premeditated, like you guys are kind of planning it out. So I don't know what is your charm die, Moira?
What is my what?
What is
my
your charm die?
is a 4.
It's a D4. Okay.
No.
So a 2 probably would not succeed, but what does Victoria have in charm?
I have a D12.
Okay, so you have a 6. And I would say that the DC would probably be 5 to make a noise distraction with this charm. And then we'll follow it up with some improvisation. So is that something you guys want to try?
Okay.
The other thing I was going to suggest is Moira climb up to the top of a bookshelf and start rocking it, trying to knock it down.
Tell me what you're doing, guys.
It's a giant spider. We must knock over the bookshelf to squish it.
Okay, no, Moira's going to do that. She's going to just jump on the shelf and start climbing one of them, and then when she gets to the top, start rocking it back and forth, trying to roll it over.
Sweet. You don't want to roll it over, I'm assuming, or do you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, roll brawn.
my god.
How elegant.
All those poor books.
12.
12. So you succeed. What do you want this to look like? You want to knock it all the way over?
So she's like rocking it back and forth, hopefully starting to make a lot of noise and get people's attention.
Yeah, and they are. Everybody's looking at you.
And then and then I give it like a good shove, and it like falls forward and like smashes against the next shelf. And they don't like all domino down, but they kind of do that until like 2 or 3 of them like finally kind of hold things up. But I've knocked over probably 2 or 3 shelves.
And books are just all over the floor. Yeah, books fall over and things like
everywhere.
that. The 3 of you sneak in during the commotion of all of this, and you start looking around. What are you doing in the restricted section? Just looking at books, or?
I'm probably looking at like the spines to see what title might be the most helpful.
Okay. As you kind of scan everything, Lucian, you see out of the corner of your eye, there's one book that is halfway in. Like somebody hurriedly pushed it back in, but didn't push the book all the way back into the to make it seamless with the rest of the books.
Well, I pushed it all the way back in to be. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, I take it out.
All right. And it's full of some pretty dark magic. There's a lot of weird spells in here. What's the title of this book? I should have given it a title. I don't know. The Dark Arts in You. And it's just kind of full of some weird magic. And you flip through it really quickly, and you find that there is a eared page. Somebody bent the corner of the page, and you open it up to that page, and it is the spell that Euphemia has been telling you guys about through her like research of magical history. And as you're reading this, you uncover that you need a couple of things to make this spell happen. One, you need ironwood, which is a really dense, hard wood, to carve some kind of creature that you're going to summon. And then 2, you need basically a summoning circle to kind of do it around. And then 3, you need a lot of hateful feelings.
Can I try to duplicate this page?
Sure. You don't have a lot of time, so roll flight for me.
Okay.
And we'll see how well you do under pressure to get it copied down really quick. 8? Yeah, so you succeed. So you're able to and you get a copy down. Just as they're magically cleaning up the books and everything's coming over, they're talking to Moira, and they're just like, Moira, why would you do that? Well, the library is no place. It's not a gymnasium.
No, there's a book up on the shelves about dragons that I was trying to get to, and it was just I didn't want to bother anybody, so I tried to get it myself. And
please go to the librarians. That's what we're here for. And they use their wand to flick the dragon book down, and they hand it to you.
Lucian, can you see who took the book out last?
I'm not sure how. I fold it to the front and I look for a card. I fold it to the back. I look for a card, and it's like, that doesn't seem to be any indication. I've never really been in the restricted section before, but
yeah, and there, you guys all know that the restricted section is for, I think it's 5th, 6th, and 7th years. unless you get special whatever. But those levels or the professors would have access to the restricted section. You don't know who checked out the book last.
Okay.
But that's a really good idea and something I didn't think about. So that's awesome. In hopes of not just giving away the whole adventure.
Perhaps we could just ask a librarian.
Well, but then they would know that we were here.
Well, they wouldn't know that we were in here. We could just say we heard of a book and asked if anyone has it. I'm not sure. You're right. You're right. That was silly of me.
No.
I'm ashamed
It's,
to say.
we're just not supposed to be here. And I don't know if we're really supposed to know about the spell, like, at all. So,
Well, we could say the fifth year or something mentioned it.
oh, that's true. Maybe.
I can give it a try if you guys are hesitant.
And this librarian walks up to the group of you and is kind of eyeing you because you came running out of the restricted section, but they didn't see that, but they do just see like you congregating there. And he's just like, and he's a Slytherin, probably a 6th year, kind of working the library. And he says, "May I help you?"
Well, yes. So I was wondering if we could go into the restricted section.
I need to see your note from the professor.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yes, that's how it
well,
works.
I heard about a book and I wasn't. Well, I was hoping to read it, but if that's how it works, that's how it works. Perhaps I could just talk to whoever had it last. I just have a couple questions about the material there.
What is the book in question?
The dark arts and me. No, the dark arts and you.
And he's like kind of taken back, like that's not really a book that you need to be playing with, but he'll go look it up. And so he goes back and flips through a tome to kind of see. And he's like, "Well, I can see that we checked it out recently, but coming back here, it looks like the name has been scratched out." And he kind of touches it, and there's like a shock, like it's been magically erased or magically like scarred over. He's like, that's really unusual.
And unfortunate. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else I can help you with?
Are you going to follow up on this? Does this concern you?
Well, it's concerning, yes. Given the accident that we had today, I probably should report this to the professors. I'll bring it up to Professor McGonagall.
That sounds smart.
Or Professor Snape.
Well, whatever you must.
Bye.
Well, thanks.
You're very welcome. You're an herbology person, right, Imogene? I forget.
That's my D8.
It's what?
My D8.
Your D8? Go ahead and roll your D8 for me.
That's a 1.
Okay, take an adversity token. All right, so you guys have some clues. You kind of discovered the spell, but not the who. Where do you guys want to go next?
Should go to Hogsmeade, have some butterbeer.
Not so sure we should, really do that till we figure out what's going on.
I guess so.
I'm flattered you'd invite me, though. If I'm being truthful.
Sure.
Well, okay, so we know that to make that spell happen, you need that fancy wood and a place to do it, and you need to be kind of a jerk, I guess. So maybe we should try and find some place where somebody could have set up to summon it, to set up some place where they, wouldn't be found. I don't know really where that would be. Does anybody have any ideas?
It's probably that Snape guy. Don't like him at all.
He's not very
Did they tell everyone what they found?
Oh, yeah, I mean...
I'm assuming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I heard like there's like a circle where they cast and they need some weird sort of metal to do the carvings. So
You need iron wood. So it's a really dense, heavy wood.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I guess we gotta find the circle. Yes.
I'm gonna just like pull like a pocket of those wood shavings and be like, it looks like this, guys.
Can we also, now that we know that's called ironwood, can we look back in the herbology books to see where it maybe it's frequently found?
Absolutely. I won't even make you roll because you're in the library. You'll obviously find it if you're smart enough.
Right.
So
The
you
Dewey
guys,
Decimal System.
The Dewey Decimal System. So you go looking through.
Terrain.
The ironwood is not a rare tree, but it's only found in specific parts of the world. But it is found in the Forbidden Forest. There are ironwood trees that are growing out there.
I relay that to them.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Hagrid knows where we could find some of them.
Does this mean I get to cut down a tree?
I mean, I don't think we actually need any of the wood. We just need to know who's been, going and getting it.
But it wouldn't be a problem if I cut down the tree, right?
Are you sure you don't want to just tip it over?
Give that a shot, yeah.
When I looked at the exploded spider, was it a big piece, like a big wooden thing, or was it little?
It was little. It was
Little.
about the size of a baseball.
So they may have just needed like a tree branch even. So I guess we'd have to look for something that was freshly cut, maybe. So, out in the woods, in the dark, with the centaurs.
Maybe we should see if we could try to find any remnants of a summoning circle somewhere. Maybe like an empty abandoned classroom that's not used too much or something. And maybe then we could see, if anybody, maybe like one of the portraits or the ghosts have seen somebody walking around right before the match.
Although it's a good idea, Euphemia, you get the sensation reading the spell that you would have this carving, you would put it in the circle, you would summon it, and then it would go do its business. So if anything, this circle wouldn't be in Hogwarts. It would probably be in the Forbidden Forest or around that Quidditch field.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
maybe
Well then, yeah, all right, maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can get permission or something to go into the forest. So at least, maybe we don't get in trouble even more if they find us.
Snake.
Well, if any of you have any oats, perhaps we could feed the centaurs and they could tell us if they saw anything. We won't even have to go in if we can call the centaurs out.
Maybe they've seen something. Well, maybe then. Maybe we should go back to the Quidditch field and see if we can find any tracks and follow them back into the forest.
Because we didn't follow those footprints earlier, did we?
We just saw them.
You just kind of saw them walking around, and then you're not sure where they went, if they went like back to the Quidditch field or into the forest. You're not sure.
Okay.
So mostly because Lucian went up on a broom to look, but he got a really bad roll. So so you're not sure where those footprints went. But you could go back and look if you want to.
We could go back to the crater that was left and maybe see if we can backtrack from there.
That's a good idea. Let's do it.
All right. So we're heading back to the Quidditch field.
Let's do it.
Okay. You guys run back to the Quidditch field. It's getting late. So the sun is setting. It's getting kind of dark now. You don't have to necessarily be in your dorms yet, but eventually, like within a couple hours, people are going to wonder where you're at, So you guys go back to the Quidditch field and start snooping around, casting Lumos on your wand so you can see everything really clearly and things like that. Do you want to go to where the spider was destroyed or back behind where the footprints were? Or both? Where do you want to go?
Say back behind where the footprints were. See
Okay.
if we can pick up, before it gets too dark, see if we could pick up a trail where we already know there are definitely marks.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you guys go looking around there. Everybody who's looking for footprints, roll brains for me.
12.
Nice.
3.
6, but I have 4 adversity tokens. Is that...
So it's DC 7. So you can spend 1 adversity token to make it a 7 if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good.
So
Is
then
there
you
a
succeed.
cap on adversity tokens?
Nope, you get as many as you fail.
Oh, cool.
Cool. I get double for failures.
Yeah, there you go. Sweet. So anybody who is 7 or lower take an adversity token, or 6 or lower, take an adversity token. The rest of you see footprints, and it's the same footprints that you saw earlier. And there are a set that seem to be coming from the Forbidden Forest. So it is going back into the forest. And you think you can follow them.
Oh, I was really hoping we weren't going to find anything.
And I'm just like looking off into the sunset, like, oh, isn't that pretty?
Well, if we're gonna see if we can find a circle or anything, I guess we should probably go before it gets too dark.
Afraid of the dark.
I mean, not afraid of the dark, but don't really want to be in the Forbidden Forest after dark. And I mean, we gotta get back in bed before curfew and everything. So, I mean, like, I just got us like those 10 points earlier and I don't want to lose them.
Get home safe, Yuffie.
All right, so you guys are walking into the Forbidden Forest. It is spooky. The minute you cross the threshold, it gets really dark because just the tree line and stuff block out the sunset. And so it's getting pretty spooky and pretty dark. You lose track of the footprints because once you get in there, it gets kind of mossy and grassy and it's hard to find the footprints. But everybody make another brains check and we'll see who leads the way.
8.
9.
2.
15.
Oh, wow.
What'd you get, Moria?
Oh, right. 2.
2? Okay, so Moira and Imogene take an adversity token. Victoria, you are leading the way. You seem to know exactly where to go and where to take
Scared. I'm on a mission. 'cause I don't like
and you guys go walking. You come to what appears to be a clearing, and you find a bunch of branches and chunks taken out of a tree. You find an old ironwood tree. And in the side of this tree, there are like gouges, like somebody's been using an axe or magic maybe to like gouge out chunks. And then you see them like the whittle shavings next to it. They've been working on stuff like this. And as you go around this tree, you see a large, I say large, but it's probably 8 feet in diameter summoning circle. And somebody has taken stones and they've written out stones, different glyph symbols in a circle. And this is probably where the summoning took place.
Can I use my last token to investigate the circle to see if I see any clues, I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So you're looking for clues. You find looking around under the leaves next to the summoning circle is a scarf. And you pick up this scarf, and it's a Hufflepuff scarf.
Uh-oh.
What was that earlier about the Slytherin and the likelihood of it being one? Not that I wasn't on
I
board.
think you were the one who said that, actually.
I agreed. It seemed likely, but
It's a plant. It's here to throw us off the trail.
The little teachers are Hufflepuff. You don't think they need like a sacrifice or something, do they? Do you think Hufflepuff did it?
I don't know.
What teachers would that
sweet.
be?
Or students. Do we know an older student who's like really, really good at would this be defense against the dark arts technically, or transfiguration, I suppose?
Ooh.
I'm good at both of those.
Moria, you have all those documents. Let's look
Yep.
at students.
Okay.
Wait,
She'll pull all the papers out and just kind of like, they're just in like a mess. They're not organized in any way, shape,
I
or
grab a
form.
couple and I start
Maybe
like
we could somehow match, I don't know, handwriting to the way the symbols are drawn.
I'm grabbing the sheet that has the information about the Patronus charm, and I'm just kind of like distracted by that while everyone else is looking through this for clues.
well, we know
Go ahead.
how old. Well, we know how old they are at least, at minimum. Maybe the range, and we know what kind of shoes they have, and we know someone's missing a scarf. That's
And
all
they're
I
not
got.
barefoot.
And they
Could you maybe put a sign up in your common room to see whose scarf it is?
Yes, and we can just cross our fingers and hope they're foolish.
Well, maybe. They don't know if they don't know where they lost it. We could say we found it during, after the match.
That's valid.
And I'm
I
kind of
like
looking. I'm kind of looking at the scarf to see if their mom embroidered their name on it. Or something.
Oh yeah, that's a good
There's
idea.
a Sharpie note.
No, there's nothing on it. It's definitely a Hufflepuff scarf, but it's just kind of generic Hufflepuff scarf. But while you guys are examining this and talking and trying to figure out what to do, you hear a twig snap behind you from the direction that you guys were walking into the woods originally.
Point my light wands. Lumos.
Yeah, get my wand out.
I get behind a tree.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I jumped behind a tree. Me and Lucian are like squeezed behind, like.
But the tree's not big enough, so I'm like have to quickly run to another tree.
We just got like an elbow and a knee sticking out
I
behind.
imagine that the rest of us like all went like back to back with our wands out in different
Okay.
directions.
And you see Gregory Crinsmore, the Professor Crinsmore, and he comes walking up and he's looking at you and he's like, "Children, what are you doing here?"
Expelliarmus.
And actually roll fight for me, and I'll roll his flight, and we'll see which one is higher.
Not good. 2.
I rolled a 1.
Yes!
So his wand goes flying out of his hand, and he's just like, "What is the meaning of this? I am a professor."
See, you're out here summoning dark spirits and such things, and trying to cause mischief and such things. We found the proof here.
Were you the
You're going
ones
down,
that
bucko.
were you the ones that summoned this dark? You should not be playing with dark magic, children. You should not be playing with dark magic.
But you summoned the dark magic. We
Can I
found
sneak
the
around
proof
and grab the
right
wand?
next to you, right? To
Yeah.
return to the
So
kingdom
go
of
ahead,
time.
Lucian. You grab the wand. Go ahead. What? Sorry, Moira. Go ahead.
Look at you here. You're returning to the scene of the crime. We know it was you. We caught you red-handed.
I
Your work, isn't it?
and he says I did a magical what's the word? I did a magical divination spell to find out where this was originally conjured, and I went to investigate. You think I'm the one that caused this? I would never harm the children. I'm the defense against the dark arts. The defense.
But we found the shavings.
And he's like, well, somebody had to have made the. And as he is trying to finish his sentence, his eyes go like roll back into his head, and he just falls forward. And you see Jane Court, Hufflepuff prefect, with a giant rock in her hand as she hits the back of his head and knocked him out. And she goes
Expelliarmus to the rock.
to the rock. Okay.
Sure, well, I mean, if I see she's got her wand, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Is this the same one from
She-
earlier?
This is the one that you levy corpused up into the air.
I'm gonna do that
comes
again when I get a
prefect.
chance.
All right. So go ahead and roll your fight again, Moira.
That would be. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. I rolled a 10 on that. 10.
10. Nice.
Exploded the roll, so total of 12.
Totally a 12. Sweet. So she rolled a 15. So she holds onto her wand, but you want to try Levy Corpus? We'll let you do that quick. Go ahead and roll your charms, I think.
All right, and I say let's hit her with the Confundo Levicorpus combo. And charms.
Yep.
That's my D20,
Nice.
which I've misplaced. Oh no, here it is. 12.
12. I rolled a 13. I could
Oh
take a
my
photo of it
God.
if you really want me to. I
I'd
swear to God.
Can I use my 3 adversity tokens, or is it just one at a
Nope.
time?
You can use as many adversity tokens as you want to succeed. So
What happens
And
with a
I'm gonna-
tie?
with a tie,
I'm
the
spending
the
some loyalty
defense
as my free
wins.
token to
So
give you a
you
plus
have to
2.
go.
Okay,
over
then
the
I'll go all
defense.
3.
Okay. And you cast Levy up, and so she floats up to the sky, upside down. So she's now upside down, and she's like, "Unhand me!" And she reaches into her robes and takes out a small wooden figure, and tosses it down onto the summoning circle in front of all of you guys. Euphemia, what are you doing?
Oh, I was gonna do something, but I don't know if it's gonna matter now. Does she still have her wands though?
Yes, she has her wand.
Okay, I'm actually gonna cast Silencio so she can't say any incantations.
Okay.
And she has not yet mastered silent casting.
We'll see her try to counter this. I rolled a 16.
So do I roll my charm, I guess?
You roll your charm, yeah.
Okay, and that is let's see. That is a 13, and I only have 2 adversity tokens, so I could only get it up to a 15 if I wanted.
I'm gonna. Hey, Euphemia, I can spend one of my loyal adversity tokens to give you an additional +2 to the roll.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Right. You can do it, Euphemia.
So let's just hope she can't cast without talking.
Go ahead, Victoria.
Oh, I see that thing hit the summoning circle. I'm like panicked. I'm like, monsters in the dark. So I like in Benesco to try to make it vanish.
Ooh.
Is that vanish like it disappears or like send it flying away?
It says use to vanish objects. So I wasn't sure if that's similar to like banish to like a.
I think vanish would make it. Is it vanish or banish? I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, it says vanish, but
Okay.
I wasn't sure if it was similar to like the banish spell in D&D.
I don't know. We'll say it is. So go ahead and try.
Because I feel like in the books it's used to like so almost as a cleaning thing sometimes.
I'm gonna say-
like used to just
yeah.
take.
Oh,
like,
crud.
I'm gonna say like
away.
DC
Okay, so
10.
it's more like a prestigitation.
Uh,
Is
well,
there one where I can? Oh god.
No, I was gonna say it's DC 10 if you want to try and make a roll for it.
Okay. And what type of roll?
It's probably either charms or fight. I'll let you know. I'll let you choose whichever one.
I'll do charms because my
Okay.
fight is terrible. So D12 for charms. 6.
Okay. So you go to shoot your magic at this thing to banish it away. Your magic wand, or the magic comes out of your wand, and the whole circle seems to get energized by this, and it just goes.
Oh, no.
And this little token figure, which is in the shape of I wrote it down. A wolf. It's in the shape of a wolf. Just starts smoking and bubbling, and you see this giant fiery beast come. It basically just grow to about the size of a horse in front of you guys.
Completely terrified.
Meanwhile, she's like, the magic, and you see Jane hanging upside down. She's like, the magic is unstable. You guys can't control this. You need to let me down right this instant.
Except you can't hear her because I
Oh, that's right. It's
silenced her.
silent. So she's like,
I know we've been learning Patronus and haven't mastered it, but can I maybe give it a whirl?
you can. So it's a charm or it's a defense against the dark arts because it's both. So I'll let you choose either one. But you need to run out of this silence bubble in order to cast it because you have to say Expecto Patronum.
All right. Yeah. So I run out. That I whip around and I cast it. I'm like Expecto Patronum, and that is, and I can show you a nat 20.
Oh, snap. That's
Plus
wonderful.
one.
Plus 1, 21. Yeah, you 100% succeed. It's like this takes you absolutely no effort whatsoever. You're just like, oh, yeah, that spell I just read about. And this Patronus comes shooting out of your wand. What does it look like? What does your Patronus look like?
It's a gigantic winged raccoon.
Nice.
I love it. That's
And-
amazing.
That's in my spirit.
Almost like if they were, almost as if these two things that were summoned hated each other more than anything. They're drawn to each other, and you see your winged raccoon dive into this wolf that's on fire. Flames are now spreading across the ground. Leaves and various twigs, and even some of the trees are catching on fire. And these two behemoths are battling. So I want you to roll a d20 for your Patronus, and I'm going to roll a d20 for my anti-Patronus, and we'll see
Does this
who
get
got
the
better.
+1 as well, or?
You get the +1, yep.
Oh no, 4.
4. I rolled a 19. So
Oh,
he
no.
takes your Patronus and chucks it, or grabs it in its mouth and shakes as hard as it can, and then flings it, and it goes flying across. It's still alive. It's still like able to come back and fight. But right now, the rest of the children are vulnerable. What are you guys doing?
Expecto Patronum.
All right, Moira. Moira runs out of the silence bubble as well. It goes to Spectral Patronum. Roll a charm or a fight for me, whichever's higher.
Fight is better. Fight is better. Natural 1.
Natural 1. Take an adversity token. You go Expecto Patronum, and it goes as nothing seems to happen.
Well,
So-
it's go ahead.
As I see the Patronus get flung, could I do Reneverate to revive someone who's been stunned? Would that count, or would that have to be a humanoid?
I'll allow it. I think that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd just be like, Reneverate.
What kind of roll do you think this would be? It's like more of like a medicine-y kind of check. So I think I wrote that down.
That's hard. I don't know. Group decision.
Is it care of magical creatures, or does this not count as a magical creature?
Ooh, I like that one. So go ahead and roll. Roll grit for me.
I hope I didn't just mess that up for you.
Oh, I asked for group opinion. 5.
5? You succeed. So we'll say you slow its descent. It kind of rolls, and then all of a sudden it just glows with this invigorated energy, and it stands back up, and it leans towards them. Raccoon wings floating as crazy as it can, and it dives right back in there to fight the anti-Patronus. Imogen, what are you doing?
I want to try to cast Patronus as well
Okay.
to add it to the fray.
All right. So run out of the silence field, or we'll kind of say that's just around Jane, so that you guys are not fighting this silence. I always kept thinking it was like a 30-foot cone because I'm used to DVD or D&D. But
That's not D&D.
go ahead, Imogen, cast Patronus Charm.
Okay, I got a 10.
Yeah. So you succeed. So your Patronus comes out. What does your Patronus look like?
A really giant cockatiel.
Okay.
Awesome.
This is a great menagerie.
This giant bird comes zooming in as the wolf and the raccoon with wings are deadlocked in fighting, and this bird comes in and just knocks the raccoon over. We're gonna have Lucian and Imogen make charms rolls for me, and we're gonna add them together.
Okay. 5.
I got a 1.
A 1? Okay.
Oh no.
I rolled a 6, and so the defense, it's 6 plus the thing. So each of you take adversity tokens, and it's kind of like they're just deadlocked right now. They're like fighting, and nobody seems to be winning. Your Patronuses are holding the fire wolf at bay, but they're not actually able to overcome it. What are the rest of you doing?
I'll throw because it's still on fire like the spider was, right? So
Yep.
I'll try and aim an augmenti, a jet of water at it again.
All right.
And hope that will help the Patronuses to overpower it. And that's an 8.
An 8. An 8 is a success. So the water hits it and bubbles and steam. It roars in pain, like it's just kind of frustrated and doesn't know how to react. And the two Patronuses get the upper hand. And we'll have Imogen and Lucian roll charms for me one more time.
10.
3.
3, 13. Great. So I rolled an 8. So describe it to me. How do these Patronuses overcome this anti-Patronus? What does it look like?
Mine's deft. It kind of runs around or tries to. It hops to the side and then jumps around to the back and just kind of bites and grabs at its haunches.
Nice.
But it looks playful, and then it starts flapping its wings to lift it.
The cockatiel kind of takes its talons and the like area behind the wolf's ears. It grabs right there, and it's like pecking at its eyes. And
Okay. And so
Can we
we'll
lift
say
it with all our wings.
we got one.
Yes.
We got one winged creature pulling it this way. We got another winged creature pulling it with this way. The magic seams of this wolf seem to just break, and flames go shooting out all around you guys. Everybody make a grit roll.
Oh no. Oh, actually, that's maybe not too bad. I don't know. We'll see.
2.
2. You're looking for a 7 or above.
Oh, nope, that's bad. 4.
I can use 2 adversity to reroll stat check. Is it that this is a stat check?
Yep.
All right. because I was a 2, and I got a 1.
Okay.
So I got a
Imogen,
4.
You got a
But
4?
can I use 3 adversity tokens to make it a 7?
Yes, you can.
Well, that is what I will do.
Sweet. Those of you who failed, you get pretty serious burns across your arms and chest and face. Like, it really hurts. You need to get to the medical ward pretty ASAP. But the flamed creature is now gone. Your Patronuses are still there. Jane Court is being held upside down, and she's just like fuming and looking really upset that she's like caught in this. What do you guys want to do?
My Patronus fly me to the medical ward.
Okay.
And anyone else who failed?
Yes, I'm good.
Yeah. I guess let's use locomotor to sort of make her move as she's hovering along to bring her back up to the
Okay.
castle. Because that's
We're in.
what causes an object to rise and move at the command of the caster. So
And you
I
guys
think
are
that's right.
making your way back to the castle with Imogene, with Jane held upside down. And
Chrismere.
Hagrid
I'm
comes
still
running up to you
silent,
guys.
like
Yeah, the whole time, just like super, super pissed off. And you see Hagrid come running up, and he's just like, "Children, what happened? What is going on? You can't treat other students like this."
oh, did we just leave the professor lying unconscious? On
Oh,
the
you
floor?
did. That's true. Do you want to do something with the professor?
I don't want to leave him there. I don't like him, but I don't want to leave him.
Okay.
Can we try to cast, what is it? I think Renervate is what wakes up somebody who's been
Yeah.
like stunned.
Yeah. Whoever wants to cast it can cast it.
I'll try it.
All right. Roll. I think we decided it was a grit or charm. I'll let you roll either one.
Okay, I'll roll charm. That is an 8.
All right. Yeah. So he wakes up and he and takes a big breath in and like leaves and stuff, and then hacks out the leaves because he breathed in a bunch of leaves. But he's like, what's going on? Oh, my head. Oh, what in the world?
Can Lucian pass out from pain?
If
Say,
you
tell them
if you
all I
choose
was
to.
a hero.
And he starts looking around. Hagrid's there as well, and he's very like trying to help you guys up. He sees that you guys are burned and injured. He picks you up, Lucian, because you look like you're about to faint. And your Patronus, you kind of lose concentration on it, and it drifts away as he rushes
You're
you
just like a wee baby.
to the hospital wing. Hagrid and the professor insist that all of you go to the hospital wing, even though some of you are completely fine. But he wants to make sure that everybody has a clean bit of health. And while you're there, they're mending your wounds with magic, and they're healing you up. Professor Dumbledore comes walking in, and he's just like, "Oh, if it isn't my little detectives, so nice to see other children from various houses working together for the greater good of Hogwarts."
That's right.
I understand
Sorry we
you.
made such a mess in Professor Quizmere's office. It was an accident, I promise. I'm apologizing
But in
for
addition to the
Don't
sorry,
worry.
I'd like to say you're welcome.
Yes, well, we've had a bad streak of Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers in the past, but I think Quizmere's an all right, and hopefully we'll be able to keep him until next year, or for next year.
Yes, I'm sure Defense Against the Dark Arts will just go smoothly from here on.
But we got Jane did her right. She's been messing with some dark magic and summoning things and wrecking the Quidditch patch.
I think Jane was frustrated ever since she failed her Patronus charm on the owls. She seems to be looking for some kind of answer to that, and I assume this dark magic got out of her control. But you probably all know that, and he like winks.
Definitely.
And I can trust that you won't be, and he looks at you, Euphemia, and he's like, and I can trust you won't be trying any dark spells lately, even though you might have found something in the restricted section.
I would never.
He's like, excellent. Well, 100 points to Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw.
I
And
also give him the
congratulations.
duplicate that I made.
The duplicate of what?
the really evil page.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he takes that and he's just like, oh, yes, best to not have this in third year hands. Thank you very much. And you guys get healed up, and congratulations, you have solved the mystery of Hogwarts and everything else. You guys are the heroes. Yay!
That was really fun.
Saved Hogwarts.
And that's Kids with Wands / Kids with Bikes, the Hogwarts hack. Yeah, it's fun. I like it a lot. So we'll go around really quick and just, what are your thoughts about this game? And then I'll let you guys go for the day. We'll start with you, Elise Victoria.
Hi everyone. I am a diehard spellcaster when it comes to TTRPGs, so I really loved how there's like this fresh new list of spells in a game that we can be creative with. It was really good flow, really good pacing, really good story. So I had a really good time. It's a great game. So
Good. What about you, Euphebia? Same.
I've never played the Kids with Bikes game, and I really like the simplicity of the stats and how everything is assigned to the type of die. I think that's just a really cool way to figure out like ability score type things and break things down that way. And I really love the beginning part where like you roll to see how everybody knows each other and you kind of build up your relationships that way. I think that's really cool.
There's actually a whole bunch of rules to build a 1980s town, which we didn't get to really do because we're playing in Hogwarts. But I really like that. Like you get to say like, well, what's a famous landmark that all the kids go to? And it's like, oh, we go down to Jake's Shakes and we get milkshakes there all the time or something. And so you get to really like create the town together. So I'm curious. Anyway, I'll tell it at the end. But go ahead, Lucian. What did you think of Kids with Wands?
I like it a lot. Yeah, the simplicity as well. It's immediately understood, and we didn't have to ask too many questions. Thank you for doing that. The story structure is really good, and so are the clues. I love the circled Patronus foreshadowing. I assume.
No, yeah. So in my mind, the professor had discovered something about like this person was trying to do an anti-Patronus. I think I named the spell, but I never told you guys the name of the spell. Was in my notes somewhere, but I can't find it. Anyway, something really cool in Latin it was called, but basically it was like an anti-Patronus, like an offensive Patronus as opposed to a defensive one. And so I wanted the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher to be that like he had discovered something about it and was trying to either stop it or understand it better. And so little hints here and there. But this game really keeps me on my toes because I'm like, I don't know where you guys are going to go. Like I wrote down a list of locations and I'm just like, maybe clues will be here. But like I had to come up with a lot of stuff. So it was fun. But Katie, what did you think?
I thought it was a lot of fun. I've never done an RPG of this type of just, it's been like 5e and Starfinder and stuff like that. And so it was really cool to have this kind of collaborative world building but to also like pull in something that a lot of people know just pop culture wise. And it was a lot of fun. And it's really easy to get started because there's not like a whole bunch of rules. You can kind of just jump in and figure it out without too much fuss.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's weird because I've played this with other people and they've been like, well, how do you level up? What are my hit points? And I was like, oh, this game doesn't really have hit points. You don't really level up. It's kind of this like one-shot funness. So yeah, anyway. And finally, Moira.
No, it was the collaborative nature of it was really fun. That it was fun for us as players to have control over what was going on and the environments. Like everyone said, like seemed like a super intuitive and easy rule set. It doesn't seem to be too. There's not a lot of rules beyond what we seem to make up. And so it seems like it's really, I don't know. It feels like like an 80s movie where a bunch of kids solve mysteries. So, and that's I guess was the point. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Super
in the best way.
I totally want to play this game in the core rule set and do like a whole Goonie thing.
I feel
like
like
to imagine we all had big hair. Like
yes,
hair.
just like big teased hair and our shoulder pads under our robes.
We had a side ponytail coming out.
I should have done that.
My character's last name for Elise's other game was his last name's Glamrock.
Nice.
That's
just
amazing.
fittingly enough.
I could see this being a like a really good game for somebody who hasn't really played any kind of TTRPG and who's sort of like getting new into it, because it's, you know, not a lot of really heavy rules. You get to roll every kind of die at some point, which is always fun if you're like, you know, not used to anything but the standard kind of D6 stuff.
It can be kind of intimidating. I played this with some people that are not the best improvisers, and they got very like, when I'd be like, hey, you walk into a room, what do you find? And they're like, I don't, and they would just like freeze. And it's just like, this is not what we do. And so I was like, but I think that can be easily overcome with the right group of people.
Yeah, so. The right group, and with like the right kind of like starting off, maybe like framing suggestions could help ease people into it. Like, because I know, like, especially even for people who maybe don't like the high fantasy setting of like a lot of D&D games, I feel like this is a really easy way to, you know, like everybody likes Stranger Things now. Like, hey, you want to play Stranger Things the game almost? Like,
yeah, it's kind of what it feels like. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Are we all DMs?
No.
No.
Okay. No. All right.
Katie should DM though.
Everyone, yeah, I was gonna say everyone had those improv skills, so.
Well, and I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't DM'd, because I'm low-key terrified of it, is because the improvising aspect of it is really intimidating. And I think this is one, it takes that aspect of the improvising and it made it a lot less scary, because it's like you've got these other people that are helping you build the world.
It's a shared burden.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be snap decisions. You can kind of take a second and be like, okay, I just walked in here. This is probably what I'll see.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know. I love this system. I love this game. Like ever since I discovered it, I'm just like, what? And then I ended up getting to play it at Gen Con, and like went from my test game straight to their sales area, and I bought like the deluxe edition book and the dice and all, and I was just like, oh, actually I didn't buy the dice, and I regretted not buying the dice, and then my wife bought me the dice later, because she's like, you regretted not getting those for so long. And I was like, I know, I'll never use them though, and then I used them today, so that's cool. But
It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for putting this together.
For sure. Thanks for being my playtesters. This is fun.
They're all a lot of fun to play with.
I will put links to everybody's social media down below, as well as links to where you can buy Kids on Bikes if you're interested in that. And I will also put a link to the Hogwarts hack, Kids with Wands, if you want to do this. And that is our show, everybody. So thank you so much. And we will see you in another playtest in another time. Goodbye.
Bye.